A river runs through it, in fact, to the north and the south Thompsons, here in Kamloops, BC. 3 straight Canadian championship, Carrie Einarson.
Ain't no stopping us, ain't no stopping us. No, ain't no stopping us, ain't no stopping us. With the sun up under my skin, I got the wind up under my wings. You ain't stopping us, no, 'cause ain't no stopping us, ain't no stopping us.
The Sandman Center here in Kamloops, home to the Western Hockey League Blazers, who have been forced out on the road for 6 games as the Scotties, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship, has taken over their home. Earlier today, we got our first look at the teams in Pool B, and our featured game was Northern Ontario against Manitoba. It was a steal of 2 by Northern Ontario in the 5th when Jennifer Jones was a little heavy, but this was the key shot. Comes in 10, bang, that double. And Northern Ontario and Krista McCarville from Thunder Bay, silver medalist a year ago, they pick up the win over Manitoba. Carrie Galusha from the Territories in her 150th game at the Scotties is a winner over New Brunswick. In the battle of the wild cards, Casey Scheidegger from Lethbridge is a winner, and Rachel Holman looked very impressive in her first outing with a win over Newfoundland and Labrador. So there on Pool B, you see the winners and losers. Pool A, Carrie Einarson and BC's Grandy, they were winners, and they are our feature tonight. And on this Saturday night, we do say hello, Canada. Welcome back to Kamloops. Joe alongside Russ. Kathy will be with us in a matter of moments. So what did you think from that afternoon? First look at Pool B.
Well, in Pool B, we talked about Pool of Death, and Jennifer's starting to think that way. I would have picked them to win that game. I really would. Twice as many games coming in. She's such a great ice reader, such a good strategist. 1 loss already. You've still got wildcard 2 and 3. Holman,
right.
Kelly, oh my goodness, they could be in trouble.
It's hard to believe 1 game in, a loss, and you might think that way. So our feature is Einarson, defending champions 3 times against BC. Now, Carrie Einarson, by her own admission, pulled back on the schedule this year a little bit. Did they show a little rust, do you think?
Yeah, Vic, and no provincial to get ready for this event, and I think we saw some signs of this team actually being human yesterday. The conditions have been a little bit unpredictable in the first 2 draws, and they definitely got caught on it.
Then you've got BC and Clancy Grandy, who moves from Ontario to take over this team and beats the hometown team, Kamloops' Corinne Brown.
Yeah, they look really good in that game. They look good this year. 11 spiels. They've worked really hard at it. Brought in Nicholas, which is quite a coup. But of those 11 spiels, they didn't qualify 5 times. So which one of those teams is going to show up tonight?
Nicholas Sedin, 6-time world champion, is behind the bench of BC. That is our feature when we do come back to Kamloops on this Saturday night.
I always get super excited, and it's always amazing feeling to step onto that ice. It's definitely not going to be easy to defend our title, and we just got to think of 1 game, take each game individually and see what happens at the end.
Super special. It's our first Scotties for all of us, and we're really looking forward to kind of embracing that moment and getting to be the home team, and we feel really lucky that we get that chance.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Scotties Facial Tissue. Unleash the Scotties. By New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada. By Home Hardware. Here's how. And by PointsBet Canada, the official sportsbook of Curling Canada.
And on this Saturday night, it is now game 2 for all the teams in Pool A, except for Laurie Saint-Georges of Quebec. She's idle tonight. There are the games. PEI will try to win their first against Nunavut on the ice for the first time. Our feature is on Sheet B. On Sheet C, Caitlin Laws goes against Christina Black, and Nova Scotia looked very impressive in their wins. And Alberta's Kayla Skurlik got to the Garrison Club in Calgary against Robin Silvernagle. and Saskatchewan. So those are your 4 games. It's time to meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. Team Canada, led by Carrie Einarson and backed up by Brianne Harris, Shannon Burchard, and Val Sweeting. Team British Columbia, they hail from the Vancouver Curling Club. Clancy Grandy is the skip with Sarah Loken, Lindsay Dubé, and Kayla McMillan at third. Doesn't happen very often, but the Canadians champions have given up the last rock, and it was not even close as BC wins the hammer. So Grandy will have the last rock playing the Yellowstones. Team Canada the red. They get us underway on this Saturday evening. Team Canada's lead, Brianne Harris.
That could end up being very beneficial. We watched the ice soften up in a couple of spots. It was fantastic everywhere else and for most of the game. But if that happens again, especially in a night draw, if you've got control of the game, you might be playing some hits, which will be easier than the draws.
And even for Team Grandy, they're in their Scotties debut. No one has played in this event before, so to have the hammer in the first end, you get to set the tone, you get to get some comfort. That's a huge win for Team Grandy to start the game.
Got a bit extra line.
Sarah, along with Kayla at third, we're part of that 19 BC junior team.
Top 12. Yep. Drag it, guys. Okay, Fully. Just fully. Whoa. Good shot. Great shot.
I carried a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, it looks like it started coming down.
All right, time for the keys to the game. Let's start with Team Canada.
Yeah, and so for the ice conditions, they've been a little bit unpredictable at times. So searching for those tendencies, being able to put the broom down with confidence is going to be key for Team Carrie Einarson. They'll want to come out and put a bunch of pressure on these Scotties rookies. And beyond that, if they're finding that they're having some trouble adjusting to the conditions, they're going to have to adjust their strategy based on what they're seeing. Sometimes when things are a bit unpredictable, you have to simplify your game.
It's not curling at all.
Just that 2 extra feet of weight. Look how much wider that is.
Okay, Brianne.
And it slips to the back 8. All right, keys now for British Columbia.
Well, third has to be first. Kayla McMillan, it was only her first game at her Scotties. You have to give her a bye, but she was only 68%. She's matching up against the great Val Sweeting, who was 89%. That isn't going to cut it for British Columbia. And get something out of the half shots. It's so important to manage the errors and miss the right way, have the tolerance the right way, so those rocks are usable as the end goes along.
Keys to the game are brought to you by Sponge Towels. Absorb life. All of it.
Still 4. Kayla's rock.
We've seen early in these games, the speed is just beautiful on the ice. Nice and quick to start.
Hard, girl.
Gotta go.
Very sweepable. We're looking to get this rock to curl, though.
Hard. Get it in there, get it in there, get it in there. Go.
So you see that stone on the center line, the red guard on the center line. That's the no kick zone, of course. And it cannot be removed until after the 5th stone. So that's the new rule. The tick rule has been adopted by Curling Canada, played internationally, of course. It was first and now adopted by Canada.
And it's interesting, Vic, because that shot's made more often than not, even when the leads miss the center line, the opposition tends to ignore it and go right around it anyway. So a lot more rocks in play.
That's good.
Good throw.
They'll get rid of 1. Shot rock belongs to Team Canada, back of the 8-foot.
Throw peel. I think so. Make sure. This should come up a bit.
Is that middle rock?
That's it. Yes. Yep. Whoa.
Other way.
Ottawa native, played with Haley Armstrong in that 17 junior, and just misses the stone at the back of the 8. As we say good evening to Kathy, who's watching all the other games.
Well, it is Marie Christensen who's now calling the game for the PEI team. Suzanne Burt still throws last rock. They call a much more aggressive game. They did lose last night, but it is impressive. They will take that game to Nunavut, who is going on the ice for the very first time. Caitlin Law's wild card 1 Well, we never thought she was going to win after giving up 4, but she managed to squeak out a win. Will have to be much better against a very sharp-shooting Nova Scotia team led by Christina Black. And then our final game tonight, Kayla Skrlik, who's probably still wondering how she lost that game last night, playing Robin Silvernagle from Saskatchewan, who owned the first 5 last night, but not the second.
All right, thanks, Kathy. And when you think about Marie Christensen, she was, of course, out of Nova Scotia, still makes her home in Halifax, a former Nova Scotia junior champion and a skip those years, won a silver medal at CIS playing for St. Mary's, so does have lots of skipping on her resume.
Clean.
It's good.
Clean.
Well, you know, you thought that was a rarity at one point in time, going back a few years. Russ, somebody would, it's always thought if you are the skip, you're going to throw that fourth stone.
Yes.
But more and more we're seeing adjustments made. If someone is the cool, really calm, collected, ice in their veins kind of person, you're going to throw the fourth stone, and I'll skip from another position.
Right, for sure. And I think it takes a special person. I know, you know, when we won with Brad, you know, he had never swept, ever. So it takes an athletic person just to even try that, and then you get your heart rate back down and throw those last 2. And it's I found it difficult the other way too, where I'm calling the shots for myself. I'm running down, throwing, go back down. It takes a little more time. So you have to repeat and repeat to do it a few times to get good at it. But yeah, it's a lot more teams are doing it.
Yours felt like a 10?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kayla McMillan, originally from Belleville, Ontario, and it was through a curling camp, the Trillion Camp in Ontario, that she met Clancy Grandy. And that's where their relationship began. And when they made the change here in BC with Jody Maskovich leaving the team, she reached out and said, "Do you want to come west? We're going to make this commitment for 4 years." And she did.
It's a special team. They're all in, and they're starting from nowhere, essentially. They had to play so many events this year just to claw their way in, and ended up in the top 10 on the Canadian team ranking system just like that in a matter of a few months.
That's quite impressive.
Go.
Don't want to jam this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll get Val.
Tried to throw less, but it was probably the same.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
It just
throw
really
this.
Hey.
Yeah, to get the roll.
That was a 10 too?
Yeah.
Okay. Same throw.
Yeah.
What a nice opportunity for Kayla to have a few open shots to start the game, get her feet under her, settle in.
Easy.
Whoa.
Easy.
12. Sarah.
11 and a half.
Whoa. Lynn.
11 and a half.
Lynn.
And roll it underneath and sit there and just winks a little eye on that out-turn side.
11-4.
Nice thing about that, though, is that it forces Team Canada to the other side of the sheet that they haven't seen yet.
Educated guess for sure. I like the weight control there, you know, with a not a really well curled game in her opening Scotties effort. That was really well thrown. Usually you overthrow them when you're, you know, not sure of yourself. Good throw.
Like 11-5-ish?
11.
Okay.
Clean it out of hand. Okay. You're yelling at me.
Yeah.
Great shot of it there. You can't see very much of that.
Do you think that's too much?
I know. I think it's close for first down. For first time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it, Kurt.
Well, I think she
Really
played
good.
in everything,
It's great.
every
Bump,
event in the
bumper,
bubble that
bumper.
year in Calgary. I think she was there for a couple of months. Oh, it's going to be a struggle here. Oh, yes, they did it. Burchard again doing what she does so well.
perfect speed control. Right at the gate in a slow path.
Weight was great.
Really well managed. It can be so challenging with the curl and the straighten out, with the directional stuff. The sweepers have to communicate together. One person's listening while the other person's working, and this tandem just works so well together.
Not bad for 4 skips, eh?
They've been outstanding.
Okay, well, say she misses a double that makes the rule. And just try and lose one.
Last night in this spot, this ran very straight.
Big.
Some of you may remember Tracy Fleury didn't play in the bubble. In fact, it was Chelsea Carey who skipped that team, and Clancy Grandy was the alternate.
So close.
Bad break there.
I think we just do the same thing, hey?
Yeah, you could go either way.
Yeah, I could roll under, but it's a little risky. I think we just roll here.
Okay. Yeah, we'd probably have to go for the big roll if we were going this way.
What do you guys like?
We kind of like this way, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
because
I like
literally
there,
just
like
risky
with
and
the
for
control.
what? Okay. Should curl here.
Smart call by Team Canada here. You're tempted to try to put as
And,
much
like, I
pressure
wouldn't
as you can in the first end, but
now either.
knowing that it's only their second game out here, they're still sorting out where to put the broom, and I think I heard one of the front end players say it's risky and for no reason.
Yes.
So they've got their force lined up here, just got to stick around on this hit.
So Carrie wanted us to say hello to a resident at the Bettel home where she used to work. She's no longer there, but Doreen Briggs, a special hello to you, and hope you're enjoying the curling. And Carrie Einarson says she'll see you when she gets home again.
Curl. You gotta curl. Curl.
Roll it. Hard.
Don't get called out. Good. 9-2. Good job. Yeah.
Just at 2.
Good.
Great roll.
Really nice pair.
The double's probably
That's why I
there, but I
didn't
don't
stop,
think
'cause
he
I'm
can
like,
hang
it's
on the
fabulous.
corner, so forces BC to draw.
Force.
Same line like each other?
This is just a sliver more than you, but top will be the same. Like I played out here even wider and top this. Okay.
Yeah.
Speed based on Sarah's is draw to button speed.
Yeah.
Ouchie.
We'll get it there.
8 on 2 line, guys.
Well, it looks as if it may be biting for a possible second point. But as you say, the way you'd have to angle that stone back, you couldn't hold it on the edge.
Don't think so.
Fine.
So drawing against a couple here in this first. Clancy Grandy.
A little tighter. Back in. A little tighter. Close for line.
Just for line.
Little tighter line.
T then, T line.
14-4. Should be fine.
And it sure is. Team Canada does their job. They force British Columbia to a single here in the first. It's our first Saturday night here in Kamloops, and our coverage of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship. And our featured game is two teams that picked up wins last night. Carrie Einarson, Team Canada, looking to win a 4th straight championship. Only been done once before. That was Pauline Jones and her team from Nova Scotia between 2001 and 2004. And they do have the last rock playing the Redstones against BC down 1-0.
Really long guard to start the end. I'm a bit surprised that Einarson didn't want to put up a corner, but I think with the way we've seen things move to the wing, it would have been hard to find a spot for that corner where you could use it if it was too tight.
You almost
There's
have
no
to
way
go
to
around
get
it to
through.
get to the corner. Whoa, that's sitting there.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, for the longest time as you watched that, it wasn't until the hog line that it actually started to make some moves.
Doing nothing, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Shannon using what they're calling the knifing technique, where you flip the broom so it's lengthwise in front of the rock, trying to get it to curl. But we see sometimes with the effort to make it curl, the stone actually loses speed. So couldn't quite remove the other one from play, the Team BC rock.
Just 10. Just 10. Clean, clean, clean. Just 10, easy. Easy. Whoa. 10 and a half.
Whoa.
Curl.
No, we're okay.
10, 6.
We're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good call, guys.
Normal.
Well, there was a little bit of disappointment here in Kamloops because their hometown team, Corinne Brown, lost to Clancy Grandy in the final in an extra 10-9 the final after Brown had beaten her in the 1-2 page playoff.
Come up. Yep. Yep.
Yes, hard.
Hard.
You got it,
Hard. Straight over.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
There, perfect. Good call.
Good, that's fine.
Well, in theory, it's buried.
5 speed. I'm seeing it this way.
In reality, though,
Like that kind of
if you crash on that guard, you wouldn't have made contact on the one in the house. So it's you can see it from the hack, but it's really not in play at this point.
Wait a bit. Wait. Off. Off.
Off.
Kayla.
Kayla.
Okay, weight's close. Easy hack. Yeah, gotta go all the way over.
Did nothing.
Okay. Wait. Yeah. Just
Watch camera.
Just right
So early scores, Prince Edward Island and Suzanne Burt with Marie Christensen skipping. Have a 2-0 lead on the team from Nunavut, Bridget McPhail out of Halifax skipping. Caitlin Laws, early lead over Nova Scotia, Christina Black, and Alberta, and Kayla Skrlik leading Robin Silvernagel from North Battleford.
Yeah, top right. Hey, line's good. Line's good. Turn right now. Line's perfect. Weight's really close. Free hands. Rock. Weight's good. You gotta finish it. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Top button. But you gotta go.
Okay.
Definitely looking a lot more gradual to the middle early this game. The tap attempt ran much straighter than Team BC expected it to, and even this draw, they had to work to get it over there, and the weight was great. We were seeing that snap earlier.
this kind of weight.
Stay on the nose.
Okay.
Like back 8.
Yeah.
These are the tough ones I find is, you know, if back 8 becomes a couple feet through the rings, you throw this 4 or 5 feet heavy, it's not going to touch anything.
Now on the flip side, if you're
Maybe
4 or
a
5
little
feet
less?
light, it's going to curl a lot. These are really high degree of difficulty shots.
Kayla McMillan as we play third stones.
T-line.
Let it work.
McMillan skipped the team last year as they lost the BC final to Marianne Arsenault.
Yeah, we gotta go for weight. Back 4 T. Yep. Yep, you can go. Hard to try and bump it. Hard to bump it. Hard to bump it. Go, 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 go. Okay. It's a good throw.
1 and 2.
Still 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Do you ever just go here?
I think so.
It was a nicely managed
even
shot.
wanna
It's
be
just
in?
unfortunately they didn't
Nope.
bump the Red Canada rock far
tight.
enough.
I don't
Alright,
think so.
Yeah, it's been used a lot now. It should be nice.
Ah, there's the awareness, huh?
Yeah.
Path's been worn a bit.
So good at the communicating.
Well, that's it. And I, in talking with Val before the game, I complimented her. I said, I know every year you try to improve something. And for her this year, it's about the consistency. Now, they've had an outstanding season, although they did pull back on the number of events. But they made 4 finals. They won 1. They got. She said, look, our end result wasn't quite as good as we wanted, but the fact that we got there with on a consistent basis, that's a lot.
Their worst finish in 7 spiels was 3rd, so that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, and ultimately for these teams, if you're taking a lighter schedule, you're not looking to peak 6 times in the year. They're looking at the Scotties.
Yep,
so you want to make sure that you're in the mix. If you're running into those finals and maybe underperforming, that's actually a good thing for a team like Team Canada because they can go and look for that 0.5% or the 1/4%.
Okay.
What are we
I think we could try it.
Okay.
Boy, so
Try and kill 2
I
reds.
think we want a hair
it's
high
a
anyway.
long run back.
20-foot run back.
Yeah.
Try to make some noise in the house.
Remember the story about Brad Jacobs?
Mm-hmm.
He used to do that at the club, and he used to practice this. This was a practice for them.
From the hog line,
For
try
the
to
hog
stick
line
it.
in, running them in, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to come up for her.
On guard, yeah, we can. Just to work with it a little more. Okay. Good throw on your first one.
Thanks.
Well, going back to what we
feet
talked
lower.
about just as when we came on the air, and you were saying,
All right,
I asked you
very
about
nice.
a little bit of ring rust for Team Canada. Nothing of that showing right now, are they? I mean, they're shooting lights out.
Yeah, and that speaks to the experience, knowing what to expect in arena ice, sharing all the information, trying to puzzle things out, looking for tendencies. They're pros. They've been so consistent all year, and they've played on all different kinds of surfaces. And even a game like last night, they wouldn't have minded having it be close and have to make shots late.
Finish it a little. Finish it. Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Good. Oh, good shot. Nice. Good call. Nice throw. Good.
Yeah.
Right on T line.
Okay.
So Sarah was a little bit less for her draw, but I think
Yeah.
we're edged to try and get to that spot.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I think so.
Okay. Right on T line.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought they might run a red one back again.
A lot closer.
Let's put it.
I think she like trying to freeze to like that one.
The top one?
Yeah.
Okay. If we could ever,
It's a very
I mean, we'd
dangerous
still be
call here.
1-2 that then.
Yeah.
We
Because
would
if you
have the option of
Freeze to the
guarding.
back one, you're in pretty good shape,
I
but
think
there's
this
not
is good,
much
'cause
real
I have
estate.
to give you guys close enough weight that you don't have to go right away. Yeah. Okay.
You freeze on the yellow one, you're going to be looking at 4.
The first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 feet less is okay.
Yeah. Just put it right on T, guys.
It's close. Okay, line's good. Super T.
You can wait. Not close.
T. Okay, line's closed.
Line
Lock
only.
room still.
Close. Line only.
Close.
Yeah.
Close.
Weight's close. Yeah.
Line. Bumping.
Line only.
Hard line.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Loken,
Yeah.
Dubé,
Yeah. Line. Line.
Hard, hard. Yep, yep, yep.
a little rub, little roll, and spin in, and it's really close. I'll still say it's red right now, sitting 1.
Great effort. Just a bad luck.
14-3.
Couple licks of
Yeah.
the broom coming in, they might have got that by.
Really close to perfect for us, yeah. And we saw a draw earlier this end not really come up there, and that went sideways at the end.
Get in a good spot.
Sweepers didn't want to sweep it because the weight was all there, but
Unless you
few
want to
licks
just
late.
play a weight we know and kill it, because we probably still get 2.
Had to sweep it to curl.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we could have swept that earlier for line.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it'll
you got
take
it.
a long time to start going.
So precise to try to lock it on the corner, second end.
But you've got to appreciate this, Joe. That little debrief just at that with the front end of Loken and Dubé to say, you know what, I really think we could have.
All right, Kara.
Maybe brush it just a little bit earlier just to hold it, maybe get it to that back stone. That kind of thing will pay dividends a little later.
And that's how they're going to puzzle out the sheet and the ice for the entire week is you debrief these shots, you learn from every rock. It's only the second end, and you want to be able to be close late in the game, and finding those little pieces of information are key.
Eight's great. Little solid if anything. We're back line.
Trailing by 1 with Last Rock. Team Canada in great position here to have a multiple point end.
Yeah. Whoa, Carl. Carl, keep going. Back line. Straight.
First charge now, trying to hold it up. Oh, look at that. How nice is that? To sit 3. Let's go over to Prince Edward Island and Nunavut. PEI leading 2-0. Final stone coming up for the team from Iqaluit, skipped by Bridget McPhail.
Well, she just rubbed on her first one, and that allowed Suzanne Burt to remove the other Nunavut stone in the house, and it is 2 that she now faces. Looking to draw, needs full 4.
Line's good. Allison's rock, I think.
4 foot.
No backing on this line.
McPhail went
No backing.
winless in last year's Scotties in Thunder Bay. Sadie Pinkson, Caitlin McDonald, and Allison Taylor round out the 4.
Hard. Keep going. Great.
Very nice.
To get on the board. Final stone, BC. And Clancy Grandy. Shove that out. Uh-oh, going to touch something. Need to touch something. Oh, dear.
Pretty violent extension there. I'm not sure you need that kind of weight.
I didn't even feel that back. It's just that line is so straight.
When I threw a new path, my second one this end was a new path.
All right, 2 teams that won last night. Caitlin Law's wildcard number 1 with a 1-0 lead. Nova Scotia, impressive where the Blue Nosers out of Dartmouth, skipped by Christina Black.
Well, and the trouble for Caitlin Law is this end started with a flash by Laura Walker. It was 3 that Caitlin faced on her first. On her second, stuck that stone that is second shot. She's trying to remove it, but cannot run it straight back.
Get by the guard, run it back. She did, stuffed it, and will it spin far enough? It does. And that will be for 2, Nova Scotia.
Thanks. I knew as long as I get that. It's like as long as I didn't hit it.
Meanwhile, this now is a draw for 4 for Team Canada.
Have to go wider than all the other draws this end.
Back 4. Still back 4.
Look at this. Can you hook this in and stop? Oh, and it does. Goodness gracious. 4 it is.
What a team shot there, Vic.
Yeah, well.
That was not simple.
A lot of discussion leading into the hack before she threw this rock. Team effort on this guess. What a beautiful draw.
How do you like that? In the second, picks up a 4. Had a 4 last night against Quebec on the way to a win. So that's how our camera people see it, and that's why you see it like this at home as we welcome you back on this Saturday night. Second day of the Scotties from Kamloops. And Carrie Einarson breaks it open early. Puts a 4 on the board in the second. 4-1, she leads BC, and it's the team from the Vancouver Curling Club that does have the last rock playing the Yellowstones here in 3.
10-5.
Just one bad choice, Russ, for Grandy?
Well, yes and no. They missed a couple rocks the wrong way, and certainly that bullet trying to make the double, missing everything, that's certainly bad. But they had that long guard out there, and they missed wide. If you're going to miss, you got to miss the right way, and that was actually our key. Try to get something out of those half shots. They turned a couple half shots into total zeros. But the draw for 4, that was impressive.
That was outstanding. There was not a lot of real estate to work with. There was a rock in the way, a guess on weight for a team like Team Canada, who gave up more points than I expected them to last night.
Yeah.
That's going to feel great for them.
3 4s scored last night. Another one here. It's interesting. This is the high scoring pool so far. 4 quads put on the board by teams in Pool A.
Line only. Line's good. Line only. Whoa. Just pass. Yep.
Perfect hit and roll behind the yellow BC corner. Sets up a chance at 2 already.
I was seeing it more with like a, yeah, just through.
This
So like
spot
a
was
13
curling like
probably on
crazy yesterday.
Like a high 12 even.
Yeah, you have to roll somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, and just got to make sure you stick around in the house.
Half right now. Close, yep.
And, yep.
Yep.
Lindsay Dubé.
Hard! 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 Hard!
Sneak it. Oh, gosh, they did.
How did they do that? He hit their own
Good
rock
sweep.
first that was overburied by half a rock.
Wait, it was good.
You can even double them if you really wanted to.
Okay. It was really good throws. Made it
Just
perfect.
ice reading, isn't it? Just a shade more broom there, and they make it.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. They played last night. Their sheet might not have been moving the same way. We saw sheet B last night, but they were over on D. So first time to the wings, you're going to have to make a guess, and the thrower has to commit to throwing it well, and they learn for the next one.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, curl! 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 Gotta go! Hard!
Okay.
And it gets only 1.
Okay, no worries.
It's fine.
That's okay. Yeah. 11?
Yep. So 11.
Where are we rolling?
Just in front of the other one. Okay. Just 11. Okay.
Mine was very
It's been
gradual
good.
here.
Down 3, I wouldn't be afraid just to tap this a bit. You don't have to get out of the rings yet. You can't be rolling out here. And there are other yellow rocks now wide open.
11. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Whoa, Kayla. Kayla.
It's close.
Hard. Hard, Kayla.
Kayla McMillan.
Hard, 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 hard.
1 and again unforced, and away it goes.
Really is, Vic, because when you think about it, the reds are actually helping you. You tap that back a bit. There's a bit of a red wall. More importantly, you don't roll out. You know, it's that's what Jennifer tends to do so well. Is they pick the right speed, the appropriate speed. There is actually an appropriate speed for every single shot. Down 3, that wasn't it.
Try and follow me on this, Joe, because it just that lends to a thought I've had.
9.
Teams arrive here with good intentions.
9 up.
They want to play a certain way. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to leave rocks in play. But then the moment hits them when they're at the Scotties, and suddenly they don't play that way. And I think sometimes we see that. We know from what Clancy Grandy said, they have a game plan. They're going to be aggressive. We like rocks. And just to Russell's point, they could have just tapped that back.
Yeah, and even to start this end, there were 2 Team Canada rocks in the middle. They had a corner guard up, and they elected to play a hit and roll instead of down 3, maybe putting up another guard. And for this team, based on the scoreboards of their provincials, there was a ton of scoring happening. So I think part of it is just settling into the event. I remember my first Scotties, the open takeout is not automatic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
you can see yourself on the Jumbotron sitting in the hack. There's fans in the stands, which we haven't seen for a couple of years. And all of a sudden, locking into that pre-shot routine, controlling your body, feeling your heart rate higher than you're used to, and being able to keep that focus, it's something that you can't learn until you're actually in the environment and you're in the fire. And that takes athletes a varying amount of time to get used to. Some people are very good at it and they can be in the moment without any nerves, and other people it takes longer to manage.
What Mike Tyson say, Vic? Everybody's got a plan to get punched in the nose.
There you go. Or lose an ear. Kathy?
Well, one of the things I was going to mention is that I was in BC for the provincials this year and watched this Grandy team, and what we're seeing this end is very much what happened. They gave up a 5 and a 6 to Corinne Brown in that event. She wound up losing twice to Corinne, but beat her when it mattered in the final. And the end after they gave up 5 and 6, instead of going and playing those sorts of freezes that you're talking about, they almost retreated and just used the next end to settle at the risk of not giving up more points, but also at the risk of not taking. And then I would expect that she'll go aggressive next end.
Interesting.
Keep going there. Whoa, 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 whoa.
We're just full 8, sorry. That's good spot. Good. Nice Val, great speed.
Maybe roll it behind.
You don't remember him biting Evander Holyfield?
Yes, I do. No, that's why I laughed. Yeah, no, absolutely. But
I thought he was talking about Van Gogh.
Ah.
Yeah, like what I threw.
But what Joanne's saying is exactly what Tyson's saying. It's you can have all the good intentions coming here, but it's the lights are on, the pebbles quick, the rocks are sharp, they're livelier. There's so many factors. You're playing legends in some cases, and it can change your strategy in a hurry.
1-1 tie, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the final stone is on its way. Kayla Skurlik from Calgary.
Well, she has a chance for 3 with the draw, but this is the double for 5.
For a little piece. Jump it up.
Back it up. Oh! Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skurlik.
Wow, what a great audible to call that. Obviously, it was hitting it too thin.
Well, they were up. Remember now, they were up. I think it was 5-2 last night.
Yes.
And ended up losing. She ended up curling a 65% game. She's in the 90s tonight.
And that's her second 4 once against Caitlin.
5-1 up. Something about this Pool A. The big numbers.
Yeah.
You want to be full 4 or just fighting? Fighting 4 is probably okay too, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Another defensive call from Team BC. They played this short run back, made the shot, which is great, but Team Canada has a chance to put more pressure on them and sit 2 behind cover.
And that's what I've noticed with Carrie Einarson over the years. Like, unbelievable hitter. We kind of marked her as one of the best hitters in the country, maybe the world. And can she draw? And they're getting a little bit more aggressive, every time I see them. Val made a perfect come around. Here comes another one.
Oh, dear.
It's okay.
That just straightened out a little bit.
No, that's good, Val. It was going to be a little deep. Good.
14-3.
Well, this ability to draw, right, and it pays off here. What a shot.
And team shot it. You know, Carrie Einarson gets the credit. She gets the 4-4, but Val had to communicate how close it was to wrecking. The front end had it in their back pocket, the speed all the way down. They kept communicating. Gets by easy. The weight's dead on. Just enough curl at the end. Impressive.
The key shot brought to you by OK Tire. Service, repair, tire.
Light dusting.
Back line. Try and save her shot.
Okay,
but we want to.
Yeah, which I get it if they think the weight is there. But, so, yeah.
Val actually let that
until you
tick,
get,
and that was probably a veteran move because it could have been behind the tee line. It's still partially buried, and now it's in front of the tee line. So it forces BC to actually hit it. Just slowed it down enough.
Back 12.
Thought we were close.
Okay.
Yep.
Hard. Easy. Back 12. Hard.
Yep.
Fine. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Yep.
Dubé.
Yeah.
Loken. Oh, no, not this time. Moved it over a little bit, opened up the shot rock.
That was even heavy. It's sweet. Probably should have just let it go. Because that like just wicked and rolled easy to hack.
Great throw.
Yeah. Really close.
Brilliant try.
Yeah, no panic early out of the
Yeah.
hand, so
It's just-
I would assume the broom might have just been touching the wrong spot. And you heard Clancy say to the sweepers, we should have just let it go. She means that she wishes she would have moved that rock off a little bit farther to see more of shot rock right now.
True.
We got to bite the center line.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite the game, Joanne. They had that long guard last time, which didn't seem to be an issue, and then they missed BC a couple rocks the wrong way. Give up 4 now.
We don't get to the line.
Grandy's going to throw a rock to stay in the game, probably.
Yeah, and with a bit more of a defensive strategy this end, still not quite able to combat Team Canada here.
Pretty straight.
But with those in-between weights, it's just a little bit different.
I mean, imagine where Grandy will have to go if this is put in the right spot.
Yes.
I mean, she may ask them to stop play on sheet A because they'll have to go that wide.
And it'd be smart to leave a port here. A lot of these guards over curl. They guard the shot rock, but leave that in-turn open. I'd rather have them come through a small port.
So Einarson with a couple of fours, Skurlik with a couple of fours, and the other one by Christina Black out of Nova Scotia.
Just a little curl, just to the line in your guys.
Look at that. All right. They initially thought, I think they thought maybe a little tighter, Joe, bring it just a little tighter to the house, but how far out now? That's, you know what, that surprises me. I would have thought the brush would have been a little even wider.
That's pretty much the draw line from the first end. The path should be worn in well, and this is actually the exact same path Clancy threw for one in the first end.
If the guard was tighter on that line, then they'd have to go wider.
I thought very similar. Line's good. Starting to
full
curl.
four.
Still out there. All you, sweep for T.
Dubé left.
Like it to curl.
Logan right.
Two. Sarah, if anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sit it down, and it finally does. Hanging on to the back of the button to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got a second chance. Make the most of it. Canada, say hello to your new champions from Manitoba. Final stone for Ontario. It has to be the shot rock, and it will go too far, and it will be a second straight Canadian championship. Run it back, kick it sideways, no! And it'll be 3 straight Canadian championships. Carrie Einarson. Yeah, they have been dominant, obviously, and you know, the point is made. I think you, Joe, said it yesterday. You know, sometimes your team has to learn that first time out, and you go back to 16, 7, 6, 4th, huh? But then you get closer in 18, and what you do since then. And the 20 was Moose Jaw, the 21 in the silence of the bubble, and then last year in Thunder Bay. But I'll say it again, what's really impressive of this team, they sit down after the season and go, what can we improve? Well, you're just won again. And what do you need to improve? But there's always something you can be better at. It's the same as that golfer who just shoots a 65, and where do they go? Do they go to the range? Why? Because they want to groove it. They want to hit it again tomorrow. They're very impressive that way.
Go a bit early.
And it speaks to a team that's had a target on their back now for years. Every team is going to give you their best game. They're going to give you everything you can handle, and you can't afford to lay your foot off the gas. Lighter schedule this year. They spent more time training as a team, more team weekends. Carrie, on the other hand, has played a ton.
Yes.
Lots of mixed doubles. She's played almost every weekend after leaving her job and fully committing to curling. And I spoke with Reed, their coach, leading into this event, and he said she just loves the game. She plays in a league. She plays in fun spiels. Yeah. She's out there with her kids helping with the junior program. Just loves curling.
Well, one way to get better at curling is do some curling. I think a lot of teams do the opposite. Some of these events take so long now, you know, in your travel times.
Well, you almost, it's something similar to what the professional teams do or say. Whether it be hockey or NBA, you spend so much time traveling, you have very little time for practice.
That's just it.
And working on something.
Yeah, it's tough to get sharp in the Pearson Airport.
Does that look better?
McCarville's a good example of that. You know, I would guess, I don't know for sure, but they probably throw more rocks than a lot of the highest ranked teams, because the highest ranked teams are all over the world.
Yeah, and their tanks are full coming into this event.
Mm,
They said they get on the ice in September, and all they think about is the Scotties in February.
Yeah.
Wait if you can.
And we've talked about the downsides of McCarville's system too. You know, the strategy, ice reading in different spots. It's hard to be good at both.
Well, that's what you see with this team from BC. They've played, I believe, 12 events so far this year. And you have to do that when you're new. Clancy hasn't skipped in a very long time. She needs the repetitions. She needs to throw those big draws against points like we saw last end. She doesn't put that on the button last end, this game is over.
That's right. Yeah.
It was interesting talking to Clancy leading into this event because she historically played third out of Ontario. Whenever I played against her, she seemed fiery. She would be high intensity. She'd get mad if she was missing, but from the skipping perspective, she's focused a lot on being a good leader, on getting the most she can out of her team. And that's actually something she's gained from her role. She had a previous role coaching out of the Netherlands.
Yes.
And she said, you see the game from a different perspective, and you see the effect you can have on your teammates.
Interesting.
This is a hair less.
Yeah, it's less than I had, which I think
PEI picks up a 3 to extend their lead over Nunavut. Nova Scotia replies the tie, and Alberta, as we said, had that 4, and they lead there over Saskatchewan. It's interesting how that time with coaching the Dutch team, the Netherlands. She says that she's actually picked up some aspects of the men's game, and she's trying to incorporate them into her style of play.
seem to carry that much better.
Just the preciseness, you know, how rock positioning may be a little bit is a finer game in the men's game. Certain things they cannot do, quite obviously.
Line's good. Let it work.
But she says that sometimes I try to bring that men's style and incorporate it into our game.
Needs to sit. To your room.
Nice double peel made by Team Canada on the last shot. This guard needs to be perfect.
Okay, that's not a bad spot there.
Angles
Great weight.
too, Russ, was one thing she said that
Yes.
the men's game maybe just has a little advantage, is just knowing the angle.
Yeah, they probably have more rocks in play in the most part, and they play a lot more of those run backs and doubles and triples, so they have more access to watching them, and that's all you could do in learning the drag effect and the gear effect and what different rocks, how they're going to kick off.
She still is part of their program, and a little bit more distant, obviously, but she still is part of that Netherlands program.
Chance here for a finesse weight hit. Russ, did you see? Are they trying to get under the center line guard here?
I don't think so. Maybe roll behind the corner. I don't think they can get under, can they? Yeah, they're going to the wide side.
Big roll, big roll.
And I won't get it there.
Okay. Pin down a bit.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good.
Let's make a good roll here.
Are you seeing it this way? Yeah. I was thinking maybe with this.
Yeah, well, there's running. 10? We weren't on it when I said curl, so.
I think this should run fairly straight. Yeah, we can hold it here. Easy 10.
Clean.
10-2. Easy.
Close.
10.5.
Yep. Yep.
10-5.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Dubé.
Hard.
And we'll push it through and hang around.
Good ball. 10-9, right?
I'll come up on this side. We go.
Okay. Good job. Play here. Okay.
So far, so good this end. If you can get Einarson to take her 1, get 2 and 5, and you're right back in this thing. Problem for BC is this person right here. Val's making a lot of shots, so Carrie's 100% because she hasn't any tough ones. 93% for Val.
Yep. Keep sweeping. You got it. Little roll. Good shot. Nice.
throws off.
Yeah.
I think we play a 10 out here, right?
I agree. Yeah, maybe a little fresh still.
Yeah.
So simple shot here, but extremely important. You have to stay in the rings. Do you think if they nose this, Russ, that we'll see Team Canada play the come around the center line guard?
Yes,
try to get a skips too?
I think so, because I don't think they'd take on the double, would they? The double would be so flat.
Oh, that's why it jumped.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think they will.
They weren't on it, so I'm like, oh.
The only reason you might not is that run back, but it's a fairly long one. I'd go around.
10.
All right, let's update Alberta, Saskatchewan, and particularly after that 4 put on the board by Alberta and Kayla Skurlik.
Well, Kayla got very fortunate on her final stone. She was trying to freeze down to the shot stone, tick the red guard on the outside, but blocked the path to score 2. So Robin's trying to navigate the port, come off of her own, and roll into the 4-foot for the pair.
It's close.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Good shot.
That'll work.
That will do. Very nice. It's a nice bounce back, isn't it?
Yeah, good sweep.
Like that.
I hear more.
I think it's already
Should
good.
be close.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a 14-5?
Yeah, it's a 14-7.
So you predicted it. Good call. And you know what? 2-3 years ago, I don't think Carey plays a shot. She's so confident with the draw weight now.
Yeah, so the key here, if she's a little bit light, it'll act as a guard for Team BC to come around, and a little bit deep will narrow down her scoring area. So placement is important for the sweepers.
Back forward, it's running. Back forward, it's running.
Burchard.
Yeah, let it go. Keep going. Keep going.
There's.
Hard.
And take it back. And they might tuck a piece. Back edge of the 4. Kathy and I were talking with Carrie Einarson before the game, and I asked her about staying together another 4 years. Was it just because of the win, a third straight? She said, no, actually it was even during the trials, even after the trials, they had made the commitment, and certainly the championship sealed the deal.
I think that a lot of people, when teams maybe are struggling a little bit, just assume that they're going to split up. But Carrie said regardless of what had happened, as you say, Vic, they were going to stay together, and there was no question that this is a 4-year plan. They're not one of the teams that said, well, we've been together for a while. If it doesn't go well this year, then we can always switch things up. They are committed.
Yeah, it's the last thing on their, well, as well as a world championship, but it's certainly one of those things. The Olympic is that goal that every curler at this level hopes to achieve.
Yeah, kind of stay touching a piece of the 4 is good. But just through, it should curl up nice here. Yeah.
Got to make this and keep some pressure on. Einarson, as you say, Russ, hold her to 1.
Yeah, you can't give up 2 here. You've got to stay away from the guard here.
Hard. Whoa.
Still hot.
Yep.
Still hot.
Hard.
Yeah.
Hard. Roll.
Very nice.
Yeah, very safe throw, very well managed. She was very confident in the hack, had the right speed.
I thought Dubé trying to keep that stone, Joe, straight. Yeah. Straight. Okay, now there's our break point, and they knew it, and then it was Loken to help push it over.
Well, and you see the sweepers, they're staying very close on these rocks. No one's standing up and letting these rocks take off. The sweepers are highly engaged, especially now with the directional sweeping we see. Curl in the straight, everyone has to be ready to go whenever it's needed.
I think so. Yeah.
Facing 3 with her last and throwing a 96% game so far is Carrie Einarson.
Heavy bump.
Oh, no, I'm like,
Curl solid. Easy.
The hand goes up from Brehan Harris, is maybe just a little hot.
Yep. Straight. Clean it. We're good. Clean.
I know.
And going right to the nose. And there it goes for a single. So job done by BC to hold the Einarson and Team Canada to a single. 5-2 Team Canada. Saturday night here in Kamloops, BC, and the Scotties Canadian Women's Curling Championship. And we want to welcome those of you who have been watching TSN3. Welcome to Kamloops. As we feature tonight teams from Pool A. Remembering, of course, there are 18 teams, 2 pools of 9. And our featured game is the three-time defending champions. Team Canada carry Einarson of the Gimli Curling Club against British Columbia from Vancouver, skipped by Clancy Grandy. The difference in the game, a 4 put on the board by Einarson in the 4th. As we play here in 5, it's 5-2 Team Canada and BC, with Last Rock playing the Yellowstone.
That 4 kind of snuck up on them. They had a short run back, albeit it's still a run back. If they make it really good, though, Joanne, I think they'd only be sitting 1 with the yellow one in a real good spot. You might force Einarson to a single or a deuce. Even if you spill it open, they could have made a double and maybe held them to 1 or 2. But once they tried that really tough freeze, that set up the 4, and Carey made them pay.
Yeah, I almost thought they would have called a timeout there and see what Coach Nicholas Sedin thought about the situation. It was a tough. Both options were really difficult.
Yes.
But if you could have limited the score to 3, you're a little bit closer in striking distance. Look, our scout Kathy was exactly right in her report. There was no hit and roll made here. Team BC played the corner and they've utilized it. They're buried behind that corner. We'll have some work to do in the middle here. But that defense that we saw in the third end has been put back on the shelf.
No.
Yeah.
Just tighten it up a little bit.
Okay. So here's the hard part about the 5 rock rule. You're down 3 points, but you have to make a run back right now. So the important part if you're the second here is you need to keep your shooter in play. You can use that guard later in the end.
Close. Close, yep. Yep. Yep.
Very nice.
We're already buried, yeah.
How am I playing it? Either that or you give the chase.
I think
and
we just
I kind of wouldn't mind doing that if I ever just,
Yeah, even though it's buried, if you ever be able to get this out, it's in this spot. It will curl so hard.
Yeah, this moved like crazy for Team BC in the third end. I don't even know if this is enough ice for us.
Yeah, I assume it's bored, and it wouldn't be enough.
Heavy hack.
Whoa! 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 Curl! 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 Keep going! Keep going!
Oh, goodness. Wow.
So good.
Look at that. Right beside it, indeed.
Just a great throw and a great line call from Carey Einarson. She had the sweepers on that immediately. Did not give that rock a chance to curl and take off. They hit that rock early, and then, of course, the spot is so swingy that Val's able to help this over at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty firm weight. It made it easy.
Nice throw. Great sweep.
A little light. Little quiet.
Whoa.
Kayla.
Just to it.
Easy. Easy.
Kayla.
Sarah. Straight. Hard. Sarah. Hard. Hard. Hard, Sarah. Yep. Okay. Sorry. Good call on the weight, guys. 14-3.
Just bite the 8.
Well, a storm is coming. A new episode of 911 Lone Star. Tuesday at 8, 9 Mountain only on CTV.
Okay. Lindsay's on right where she threw it.
Yeah, it'll just run straight for you.
Where'd they go? They just partly around the guard?
Yeah, I'm
Choking
assuming
it
that
off.
they're going to choke off the yellow tap that's available.
Top 12, top 8. Yeah. Top 12, top 8. Hard, you gotta go hard.
This one's moving early.
Tight. Top 12, tight. Just tight, Carrie. Rub it up. Rub it up. Not in. It's not quite there. Hard. You got it. Hard.
Okay, that's good.
Just sleep.
Just a slight stagger.
Sleep now. Okay.
This is definitely the easy way to make the double, but you could do it the other way. Hit part of the red, and the yellow might come straight back. Little tougher, but at the same time, either one of these have to be hitting the right spot.
Yeah, and with the scoreboard the way it is,
Yeah.
worth the risk.
Yep. Whoa. On its own. It's good.
Do we want a guard? Do you like nose?
Do we ever nose?
I was thinking the same thing.
Like,
What?
they freeze again, we're in big.
Yeah, go talk to her. Yeah, I like the nose.
I'm with them, Joan.
Them here.
Joanne,
Yeah.
you like
they
that?
have to freeze.
Yeah,
Have that release their own red so they can kill that yellow later.
Yeah, Carrie likes that they're sitting two here, but if the guard isn't made perfectly, big trouble for Team Canada.
If I guard this and they freeze here,
Well, even if they make the freeze here, like, what are they?
do we ever like release this so we can get it out?
Yeah. But we got to just make sure that we pump it to like here.
And try and stay on it and
Yeah.
not scoot this way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
Just a little worried.
Time.
Yeah.
It's a really good call.
Like even if I did this, you can get the yellow out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like playing same turn, back line, and trying to hit 2/3 of the yellow, center line
Release
side.
it?
Yep.
Okay.
Do we
You just
do we
want to
even
be.
wanna save this or do we
I
wanna
don't think
kill
you
it?
need to. It's more about like trying to set it up so you're Christmas treed still.
Okay.
So it's red,
do we
red,
throw-
yellow, and then the yellow goes in your next one.
Throw more like a hack because I'm worried back line leaves this in
Yeah,
the way.
hack is safer. You just want to be a hair high
Yeah.
because you don't want to send the yellow back onto our red,
No,
right?
we're better to do that.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Yep. So what turn are we seeing for this, guys?
Well, what you just said, the intern?
Yeah, I like the end.
Yeah.
Hack.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
we're going to be seeing a lot of Reed Crothers. You saw his World Championship game with Jeff Stoughton, of course, but in the recent Manitoba playdowns, he lost the Manitoba final to Matt Dunstone, but Reed will be there as a wild card team that's in London, Ontario.
Reed was impressive in the playdowns too. He played so well himself. Played 3 players. There were 2 up coming home against Dunstone, and unfortunately you had a burnt rock late in that end, gave up a 3 to Matt.
Did it all with 3 players.
Yeah.
Heavy hack. Yeah, a little heavy.
We want to keep the
Heavy
shooter
right.
on the inside 2/3 of this yellow rock.
Whoa. Close to bump. Curl. Hack. Keep going. Cross the line. Hard. Keep going. Hard. Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
Will lose one of their own. They just wanted to push that back a little bit to the 8 foot. So a couple of weeks from now, we'll be in London, Ontario, and this is the field. When you take a look at Pool A, there's Matt Dunstone. Oh, Cooey, there's so many familiar names. Tanner Horgan comes out of Northern Ontario. Kelly Knapp is a name we haven't seen before out of Saskatchewan. And then on the B side, Brendan Botru, lost to Cooey's there. Gouju, of course. Sturmey is a wild card. McEwen out of Ontario. And then on through. And who is that of the BC?
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Jacques Gauthier.
Yeah, it was quite a thrill.
I bet, Mom. Way to go.
He will be the first to tell you I had nothing to do with it. Those are my genes, darn it.
Chance to sit 2 for BC, but this rock is moving early.
Stay on it. Hard. Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Okay.
Even if it hits that
Even
one.
if we're off the back of the other one.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll curl off the line, or?
You might get a little bit.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
like half.
Okay, you got it.
Not an easy port, but this team, as well as anybody, understands the angle. As long as you don't hit the shot rock and redirect onto the second red, you're pretty safe. Like you can hit half this, kill the back one, away it goes.
3-2, Nova Scotia leads wild card 1. That's Caitlin Laws, and it appears that it may be Nova Scotia sitting. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Saskatchewan or Nova Scotia sitting one back of the button. Final Stone Laws coming up.
Well, Caitlin Stone is that Redstone. Tried to play the freeze. It just didn't finish. And lots of discussion from the hack. Christina looking at whether she could get to the inside and tap it back to live 4. Didn't elect to do that. Played the other way. But now this creates an opportunity for Caitlin if she can tap it back about 3 or 4 inches. 2 is in play.
Well, they got to go here. Peterman on the brush. Got to get it by that one first. Oh, they did. Now tap it back. Yes, they did. And a pat on the back indeed. Jocelyn Peterman, great brush. 2 for Laws.
Well thrown.
It was so loud. I'm like, oh, I'm not screaming. Good brush on that.
Anything. It like just papered the.
Nice speed. It's tricky. Maybe just make the double. Try to bring blank into play.
That's kind of unfair to chip it right through.
Yeah, made that look easy, and we've seen that hits haven't been automatic. And
No.
Team Canada, they've sorted out where to put the broom on this sheet.
Yes, they have.
It's good. Close. 12-5. Close.
So somebody under their breast, it may have been Val who said,
Hard. Yep.
you think they'll play for the double here and try to get out of this with a blank? Do you think so too? Or?
I think they're just going to play the soft hit and roll over here, but didn't get the roll. That's 2 over curls in that spot. It would have been tempting, Vic, to play the double. You might even have been able to roll behind the corner.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually mind that.
There goes your blank opportunity.
You're not hitting through very hard. Like you only pushed it to about where I did.
Yeah, I thought I was minimum weight out of my hand. Yeah.
I got 11.7 though.
Yeah. Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
If she wants to give the blank a go, let
Rather-
her have it.
Or else you'll just draw against 2. Yeah, I like both.
Are you throwing
'Kay,
10?
10.
10.
10.
Okay, sounds good.
We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Stone. Carrie Einarson.
It's good.
Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
Wonderful game so far.
Hard.
Yep.
Yep.
Burchard.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Really close. Roll it. Roll it.
Late licks and then rolls it over.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Good.
And that's that communication. I don't know if you just caught it there. That's one of the things they worked on. So whoever's brushing has been told, you just keep your head down, and the other one will do. And did you see Harris at one point in time put her hand down as if to say stop sign? I mean, that's how far this communication between these two has come.
Yeah, it looks seamless out there, and never any panic. And it doesn't seem like a lot of the information is getting lost. We overheard on the wild card sheet that Caitlin was yelling so loud. It's loud in this building tonight. There is a crowd. We haven't had that in a long time, and Team Canada is working like a well-oiled machine.
So drawing against 2 and needs full, even just a little bite of the blue to pick up a single.
Curling maybe a hair
Clancy
earlier.
Grandy.
Little tighter. Still running though.
No, your line's
Little
good.
tighter. Fight the 4. 14 and a half. I don't think you can hurt it. Can't hurt it. Yep, yep.
Now you can't hurt that. That's a beauty right to the lid. Covers the pin for a single. Chipping away, but still, Team Canada leads it at the break.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Kruger Products, the softest and strongest supporters for over 40 years. By BKT Tires and OK Tire. By Home Hardware. Here's how. And by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
All about consistency. That's what Carrie Einarson said before the game. #1 team in the world, qualified in all their events this year. As Russ said earlier, the worst they did was a 3rd place finish. And showing their consistency here as they lead it at the break 5-3.
And we saw early in this game in the second end, Einarson made back-to-back precise shots, particularly the draw for the 4th point, showing that they're very comfortable with the ice and they're reading it well. And then on the other hand, we've had Team BC with Clancy Grandy. They have been unable so far to convert with their hammer, being forced 3 times.
And just a 68% from Clancy Grandy. The numbers after 5 are brought to you by PointsBet Canada, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada. Nicholas Hedin, 6-time world champion. Clancy Grandy meeting him while she was coaching the Netherlands.
You look at the pool, you look at your games you're going to have to play, and every game is tough and it's going to be a grind, but it's going to be a lot of fun. You're playing against the very best, and that's what you really want to do in sport. It's fun to have to play your best in order to be successful, and we know we're going to have to do that this week.
We started off a little on the rocky side, but we feel confident like we belong here. I've always dreamt of coming and playing at the Scotties as I've watched it for years, and I think it's one of the biggest events, and it just feels super surreal to be here.
And that will be our feature when we join you again tomorrow. It's a 3-draw day. Brian and Kathy will have it for you. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific.
Well, you may not have heard too much about Megan Walter, but this is a young woman who lost 2 finals of the U18, finally won, and then COVID shut down the Canadian Championship. She lost 2 U21 championships and is, in fact, eligible for juniors this year, but declined to play it. Her first provincial final was at 14 years old.
And then in didn't she just take over the skipping about 6 weeks ago?
She did. They moved things around. Abby Ackland was calling the game and throwing last rock. And they just thought, well, you know what, we're not winning, let's just move things around. Abby's very open to things like that. They did it, and they've had some great success.
Yeah, they're way better than they were game 1, Kath. You know, that's just Scotty's jitters, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So to the 6th we go, 5-3, Team Canada. And Carrie Einarson once again does have the hammer playing the Redstones.
Similar. A little less. It's good. Top 4. Well then.
The placement of these rocks for Team Canada is so important. Russ behind these guards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to pick at you. Wouldn't that be important for every team, or why is it more important?
When you're up like this in a game, if you don't get these lead rocks in the right spot, it's going to help Team BC because they do have 2 centerline guards up there and in the way. If that rock would have curled up and been dead buried behind the 2 centerline guards, BC's in a lot of trouble early, but because that rock actually didn't come up, it's sitting beside, that's going to help Team BC.
Back 8 might allow this to run a little too straight.
Kayla.
Doesn't take much on this type of surface.
Hard. Back 12. Hard, Kayla. Hard. Go. Okay, good call on the weight, guys. 13-6.
That's the shot that's missed the most, in my opinion, because you see 2 red ones there. You know guarding it's not an option. You try to be on the heavy side of perfect, and that's what happens. I don't know. That was probably 3-4 feet. That's all, more than they wanted, and just about missed it completely. Now, big trouble.
Top 8. Lean, line's good. Yeah. Lean. Top 8. Rim right now. Rim right now. Yep, wide. Top 4. Line's good. Tapping that one right now. Line's good. Coming down, top 4. Whoa, off. Curl. Curl. T-line. Curl. Hard, Brian. Go, sorry. 14-7.
Piling them in there now.
Yeah, when they're buried a bit like that, you can't throw bullets at them, so it's tough to remove multiple reds
You
here.
like that?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Sure.
Gotta hit it here.
I think you're playing it with softer weight, though.
Yeah.
Like almost
Yeah,
don't need
I think we kill them.
Almost,
It's just they're gonna loop another.
Kind of have to, otherwise the top one doesn't
The other
go.
option is to try and.
Yeah. Just gotta make sure that we.
You're gonna leave this one here.
Call it time out.
Do you want to call time?
Scott, it's called
Yeah.
time.
If you could ever
Yeah.
make the tap and make a bit of a pocket.
I like
Got
that.
a couple guards out front. Making the double here isn't going to help you very much. And if you give up a 2-score, Team Canada is going to run away with this thing. So you either need to force or give yourself a shot at the steal.
Use the red ones as your friends. Tap them back. That's the call.
I don't know what that
It's
does
just
for us though right now.
No,
Later
I'm
on.
not thinking
Oh,
now. I'm
later
just
on.
saying later.
Yeah.
It's just with soft weight, this is never going anywhere other than here.
Yeah.
What are we
Just
thinking?
need to kill him?
Just come back from making a cook, taking a cook here.
Wondering if we just kill those two now. Our shooter spills, they're just gonna loop another is the problem.
Yeah.
Just not sure with soft weight, like we can try and just leave our shooter here for now.
Nose.
And bump this one back.
I'd prefer that, I think.
Yeah.
Same weight, like that back 12.
I think the weight you just played
Just
is
the-
enough. Yeah, I don't really care.
Make sure the shooter stays like fully open edge on edge.
Yeah.
Okay, so like on the
here.
nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just gonna go
Make
here.
sure we kill the 5 out of the 4 foot.
Yeah. Do you like the same weight you just threw then? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, as long as it kind of goes back a couple of feet, so that one can then be removed.
Go far enough. Yeah. Yeah. I
and
think the weight.
shooter is everything.
Yeah.
That was like back 12.
Yeah, I think the weight you played will be good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing here for that.
All right, Russ, the shooter is everything. What's he mean?
He wants to keep it in play so it's usable. So he heard him say edge on edge. It was a very smart call. Getting that red one back, Joanne and I both agree that's the right call, but getting the yellow one in the right spot's even more important. So you keep it edge on edge. It's very difficult for Einarson to do anything with it. And then you might be able to, you've got to hit on the in-turn too. You might be able to limit the damage here. You roll away here, you're in big trouble. Coach knows what he's doing.
Clean. No.
Press through.
No. No. Kayla. Kayla.
Hack.
Hard.
Lindsay Dubé.
Hard. 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 Great sweep. Okay. Okay. That'll work for now. 12. Good sweep.
Not quite to the nose, but it's very difficult to move that yellow one.
All the games are into the second half now. 5-3. Alberta leads Saskatchewan, and final stone coming up for the lady that put a 4 spot on the board earlier, and that is Kayla Skurlik.
Well, she made a double on her first, and that forced Robin Silvernagel to try to bury around the corner. She has shot. This is the triple angle raise to get rid of it. And just not enough oomph.
Just fell the whole way.
Yeah. Steal the 1 for Saskatchewan. And Silvernagel within 1.
Could have just drawn there, Kathy, to go 3 up.
Sure could have.
You heard them say it just fell out the whole way. We're finding it's a bit of a magnet. The wider you get, the straighter it is.
Top 8. Line top 4. Line good. Top 4. Whoa. Top 4. Curl. Less weight. Curl. Still T-line. Weight's good. T. You got more weight. Hard, 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 hard. Hard. Downhill there.
Rocks are taking a long time to curl on this side. If they're a little bit overthrown, we're seeing them run quite straight.
We didn't see that last night. That was curling hard late in the game.
Throw the same weight as your first.
Just that back 12.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. I think I can only throw that back line at this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
chance to create a wall behind the tee line here. It's just getting scary if you're Team BC, because Team Canada will still be sitting 3 or 4 at the end of this shot. We're getting late in the end now.
But that is the right call. You've got to be patient whether you like it or not. Just tap it back. Get this one behind the tee line. If you get the shot rock on the way by, perfect. Again, it's Nicholas said, get to the nose here, and it's going to be really hard for Carrie Einarson to remove it.
Back 8.
It's an interesting end.
Back 12. Yep. Back 8. Whoa.
Kayla McMillan.
Back 4. Hard. Whoa. Back 8. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard.
And moves it back behind the tee line. But they are sitting 1, 2, and my guess is 3.
Sorry about the weight on the
Canada.
second one there. That was the way I threw it, because I thought it was a little more straight through, even that it would curl with that much less ice, even though I threw more weight.
Yeah. Do that. I don't mind coming off the yellow. You could come off it pretty thin.
Oh yeah.
Like you could hit
like
a
bottom
thin,
of
a
it,
thin half
put it up,
on the inside.
Well, we're sitting.
And just send
like
it up
this
a little
one
bit.
is counting this back one.
Yeah, can I get it thin enough? I might just scoot behind the tee though.
What's that?
I might squeeze too far.
I'm thinking, do we ever hit it this way and get...
And just roll to like here?
Yeah.
Then they still
Well,
have
even
that.
if we do make this, Val, that's pretty good. Even if this comes to here, I think we're still sitting 3. Well, this one...
I just think to get that over the top, my shooter's spinning through, so do we just ever like draw?
Just draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worry we could get quite unlucky there.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, lob one in here.
The problem with the hit that I've just diagrammed is really this one, because when you hit it the way they want to make that double, that yellow goes here, maybe kicks back this way. And that's what they were trying to do with the timeout, was get the yellows in front.
And even for this shot for Val, a little bit light isn't the end of the world. There's some tolerance to work with.
It's another call I don't think Carrie Einarson would have played 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, less than Shannon.
They got
Top 8. Top 8. Yeah. Top 8.
Why? Just their game's improved?
Yeah, I think she's way more comfortable with more rocks in play. She's way better at drawing, and she's not relying on that bullet all the time.
Yeah. Whoa. Top button. Yeah. Line only. Line only. T-line. Oh. T-line. Yes. Hard. Whoa. Sit.
Great shot.
Little rub roll right to the button side of it.
Top
And they're sitting 1, 2, 3 now, and 4.
Nice, Val.
Goodness. Wow.
Line only. Line only. T-line. Oh. T-line. Yes.
That spot is tricky, Russ. We've seen rocks take forever to curl, and then some of them, like Val's rock, dove at the end there.
Did it ever. Little unlucky. If you can throw a bullet here, I think you can get 3 of them. Half rock rocket. The back one will gear and spin. The shot rock will be gone, and will that one they're hitting go through the port?
10-5, close. 10-5. Whoa.
I thought they'd throw it harder than that.
Hard lens.
Lens.
Hard lens. Hard lens.
Hard.
They through, got it, and moves things around, but it's still 1, 2, 3 for sure. Team Canada.
Just no speed in that one.
Yeah, and just didn't quite get to nose.
All right, update 4-3. Laws leading black, and they play in the 6th.
It is the force. Caitlin made a double on her final stone, but rolled the shooter out, but did leave 2 spread across the house. No way to score multiple, and so needs a bite of the 8-foot for the single.
Christina Black and the team from the Dartmouth Curling Club. Last year in Thunder Bay went 5 and 4 in a 5th appearance now at the Scotties.
14-3. 14-3. Line only. Line to the T-line. Great shot, Tina. Thanks. 1 yellow. Yeah. Great throw.
To tie it up,
sorry then. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate, we should go.
Some nice shot making here.
Good job, nice waist.
Good shot.
Isn't that nice for Val? Early in the week, they're in control of this game, but she's had the opportunity to throw some precise draws this end. That helps build confidence early in the week.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're better to actually.
It's just, I think
We're not going to be shot over
we're not,
this
yeah.
one.
So I think we need to make sure that this is not shot.
Can you throw a soft weight one here and get to the or
Should,
tap
be
the
at
red
least
yellow?
edge on edge,
Yellow
so-
center line top 4.
Yellow
Yeah.
top in the intern or hit that one and roll a little right, but there's not a lot of real estate to do
I'd
that.
have to throw it
No, and the-
hard, and I just don't think I can with.
Yellow's tricky with that long center.
You know?
It should be like edge on edge.
Yeah. What weight are you thinking?
My first thought was to kill them, but if you don't think we can, then
Let me take a look at it.
okay. I think we can
If
really
you hit this
hold
right on the
it.
nose,
Yeah.
I think you get 3 of
I
them.
think you get 3 of them moving.
Little less.
Maybe a little low side if you can.
I think we got to throw peel now.
That's what I thought they'd do on the previous shot. Because this is tougher because you've got to go through that guard.
Gotta hit what we can.
Yeah.
Kind of what you talked about that last sense.
Yeah.
going a little
The
bit
spot is
soft.
running
Yeah,
very
exactly.
straight.
Wrecking's not an option. Even if you accidentally
Just feel.
high side it, you stay in that pocket. Right? It kicks off one of those and just stays there.
Bailing with their first here. BC. Clancy Grandy.
Oh, no.
So far all on
Hard
its
on the yellow.
own, and
Okay.
they end up killing one of their own, moving one back. Still has Team Canada sitting 1, 2, and close on a third.
Okay.
A little wide on that out turn. When she ups the weight, there's a real pop release in that out turn. Kind of got away with it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's either that or no. Yeah, this is a call. Take a little more ice for me.
Yeah. So where's, like, just up here somewhere?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
This yellow one
Okay, I
here.
think we're still
Yeah, they
sitting
kicked it a
3.
little bit
So
to the right, so it's
Yes.
a little more available.
Yeah, good point. And there's a long guard out there. So it's totally buried, but the key is long. So there's no reason why Grandy can't get around and tap that up to a real good spot, because it looks like Einarson's guarding.
Yeah, she's guarding the easier option for Team BC. That tap is very difficult, and if it is made, there still might be options for Team Canada.
Early if you can.
Yeah, early.
Hey, line's good.
But a real teaching point there. BC finally hit and stayed in the middle there. Actually on a redirect, but it's a rock that it's tough to guard both yellows.
Okay, we're tight now.
That's the dream of a skip, is to have 2 options.
No, we're in the rings. Curl, 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 tuck it. Go, go, go. Okay, pretty good.
Okay, that's good. Good call.
Good job.
Well, they're seeing exactly that now, aren't they?
Down there, but
Tap up that yellow, that one.
Yeah, and not that it's easy.
like try to send it right on to.
You get it into there, boy.
You could take the end away.
Yes.
I mean, the pinhole's
Similar to
available.
what I
Yep.
And a steal would be a huge momentum builder for Team BC here.
Especially when they were looking at 4 the whole end.
The weight has to be perfect on this shot, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost the throttle a button with just some aggressive
Probably
brushing.
closer to half out of my hand.
You don't have to move those very far or at all.
I thought mine ran okay here. Yeah, yeah.
Down by a couple, in trouble deep. But with a chance to tap their own up from the top of the 4 right to the pin.
Hack. Yep.
Hack.
Dubé trying to hold it up. Hold that break. Hold that break. There you go. Hold that break. Now, can you just touch this up? Touch it right up. Oh, you got the pinhole shot. Rock BC.
Very, very nice.
That was a guess for where to put the broom.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect weight and just really well managed.
Yeah.
They were so calm that whole,
really,
the whole way
was
down the sheet.
Very impressive. They haven't been out in that side for a long time.
With where the shooter rolled, can Carrie come off of that?
Yes.
And jiggle things around?
She can, probably for 2. 1.
You have to throw like in a bumper and like just let it go and try and do that.
Yeah.
Probably still only for
What
one.
do you guys see?
Did you ever throw a rocket
That might not
and make
even
the
be
triple?
for shot.
Do you think I can make that? Or even like hit what whisker what I can see of this? Like
It's
throw
pretty
peel?
much dead under, like you can't see any of it from the hack.
No.
You could try and do this, even if you come off that, you might scoot it off the pin.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I gotta try it.
Yeah.
Do you like this, Joe, or do you like
What do you
that
see there?
one coming in off the shooter?
I think that redirect looks a little bit more makeable. This yellow, I think, is just a little bit too far behind the tee line to kick up off that red.
And the other one I drew, hit that one at 230, the yellow one at the 8 foot. I think the long guard's in the way to throw any weight at it.
All right, Carrot. Okay. All right, Carrot.
This is so tough.
Oh, she must feel like someone reached in and just picked
Yeah,
her
like
pocket.
No kidding. There's a good picture of it there. It's tough for Einarson to throw the bullet on the intern side with that long guard.
Right now, it's BC with a terrific stolen point. Her charge, staying with it. Now you got to come across, calc across, and come up, and will not. What a wonderful shot. Clancy, Grandy, and BC pick up a steal of 1 here in 6. A dandy by Grandy. Kamloops on this rock and roll Saturday night, and 4 games on the ice from Pool A, and let's get you caught up. Here's Kathy.
Well, for PEI, coming off a loss yesterday, they had good draw weight, and that has made the difference in this game. So precise. For Nunavut, the team that hadn't been out there yet, trying to figure out where to put the broom. Well, our feature game, we've seen that great shot just now. Grandy trying to come back from that big end. And Caitlin Laws, some good shots, but they're uncharacteristic flashes. You can't do that against a team that is so solid. As a team, 92%, that Nova Scotia team is not to be overlooked. And Skrillex, boy, I'll tell you, she's feeling them clawing back. That 4 was great. But Silvernagel now the only person on her team out curling the other team. She's at 86%.
And right now, that would be 2 games in a row. Remember, last night they were up on Laws and let Laws get back in and eventually pick up the wins. As we welcome you back. What a wonderful shot that was by British Columbia when they really looked like they were up against it. But just that first stone kicked that rock out just enough that they could get to it and bump it up. And so here we are, 5-4, playing in 7. Once again, Team Canada with the hammer, playing the Redstone.
Yeah, Clancy's first one was a little on the fortunate side. She actually missed the opponent's rock, caromed off her own, rolled over to a spot, kicked out her other one, and then she had 2 yellow raises, and Einarson could only take 1 away.
Good.
Well placed draws by Brianne Harris this end, so Team Grandy choosing to eliminate one of these reds. We'll likely see some more defensive-minded play from Team Canada this end, wanting to make sure they score.
Good call.
Replace it. Sorry, just tight. Replace it, yeah. Good spot.
tight. We're just tight if you're not touching it. 3. Okay, let's roll. 3.
7th end now. It'll be interesting to see if there's any changes in the ice. There's a mop during the 5th end break that kind of gets everything broken down nicely. So the 6th end, the speed is typically quite consistent, but we've seen in the other 2 games that some patchiness seems to come into play. So we'll have to see what the teams are feeling out there. And draws have been tough late in the game.
Night draw too. Yeah, if it's going to break down at all, it's usually late.
I just think it's going to jump it with the bumper probably. Okay, got it.
Probably double these off if you tried hard enough. Guard's pretty long.
Weight's good.
Weight's good. Whoa.
Whoa.
Curl.
Curl. Yeah, we're way out there.
Curl. Gotta go.
Only hitting a chunk right now.
Curl. Keep going. You got it.
Go, go, go,
Keep
go.
going. Keep going. Keep going.
Just slid a little pull.
Yeah. Okay. All good. Good.
Well, here we go. Let's check in on Silvernagle and Skurlik. And you were saying that Skurlik just letting them get away with things here.
She really is, and it's a combination of that and also Robin Silvernagle starting to put a lot of pressure. Tried to lock her final stone around so there was no run back. Didn't make it exactly as she wanted, but for Kayla, just no run back facing 4. Needs to get to the hearts or at least the forefoot to cut down the damage.
Jerry Lynn Ramsey's in the house. Brittany Tran, Ashton Skurlik on the brush, and just not enough curl there. It'll be a steal of 1, and look at this, all the way back again to tie. Happened last night.
Yeah, I've seen that movie once, eh? Good shot, though, to give up the steal.
Not the kind of double feature you want if you're Alberta, though. And again, as we said yesterday, we'll say it quite often, 3 teams get out of the pool. And if you drop a couple early, that's the possibility. Obviously, in that game, both teams are winless. So one of them goes to 0-2 if you're Alberta or Saskatchewan. That's a tough, tough road.
And the tough part about the 5-rock rule, when you get a lead early, you start playing defensive, you start trying to limit rocks in play. You play a lot of hits while the other team is drawing and manufacturing points. And when they do crawl back into the game, Alberta probably hasn't played a ton of draws now.
It's amazing how that happens.
You see that momentum swing all the time, and comebacks happen a lot more often with the 5-rock rule, and especially with 10 ends with more time to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to overcurl too much if they can play that
so.
hit and roll.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, same throw.
Yeah, just stay close early. It's never going to undercurl.
Yeah.
A little more. Top 8 right now.
Okay.
Then
Linz.
still just do it. Little bump.
Linz.
Almost
Whoa,
T.
whoa, whoa.
Almost T.
Whoa. Whoa.
T-line.
Whoa, whoa. Off. Okay. Okay.
That's a really big ad.
Okay. Yeah, just load up the house, make them a little scared. Okay.
You're just straight picking it? Which one?
I think we're hitting and rolling behind.
Stick around.
I think you need like half to make that then.
But I can't make that with the guard.
What weight did she say?
10.
Okay.
I'm gonna just
That was an
roll out.
interesting comment. I think it was Brianne Harris. Let's just load up the house and put some pressure on them.
Yeah, they're hoping to remove just the top yellow from play here, roll somewhere over to the other side of the rings and sit first and third.
10-5.
Force BC to be precise with their own rocks.
This is curling hard.
There you go.
Burchard never letting up. And they're going to angle it back, kill their own, and leave BC sitting 2 without last rock as we play here in 7.
Interesting turn choice there because they had that center guard to worry about. Made it a little tougher, I thought.
Yeah. What? I didn't think it was. It just looked really hard with the center guard. And that.
Like guard almost this?
Yeah, a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
All right,
which
that
leaves a
raises-
tricky
okay.
hole.
It's a tricky spot to guard. Like
Yeah.
If you are not comfortable in the hack,
Yep.
should you not say something rather than play a shot that you do not necessarily feel is there or makeable?
Yeah, that's something you wouldn't expect to see out of a team like Team Canada. It's their 5th season together. They all know each other very well. Not only was Val questioning the shot, there was a lot of chatter. Well, wait, are you playing? Wait, how are we making this from the front end as well?
Yeah.
And if you see something, you have to say something out there. And they're not tight on time.
Yeah.
That's something that they'll talk about in their debrief.
We'll talk about this shot too. Her last stone. It ended up being a steal point. Just really a wonderful shot.
Was it ever? As I said earlier, a little fortunate on the first one. Einarson couldn't guard both, but this was the one they wanted to leave her because it was that tough, but I guess not. Perfect weight, great line call, good brushing.
And the final choice, almost around the horn kind of a shot that Einarson made, I thought the better shot, the better choice may have been that come in off the shooter and try to rattle things.
Yeah, and she didn't love how that looked because there was a guard in the way. And in fairness, these rocks are really lively, and this was a great opportunity for Carrie to see how much action she could get.
Well, isn't that a turnabout? Team Canada wanted to load it up and put pressure, and look who the pressure is on now.
Loaded it up, all right.
Yeah. These rocks, as we mentioned, are Curling Canada stones, and they were last used in both the Scotties and the Brier last year. So the teams that were there at the Scotties in Thunder Bay would know these stones well.
Yeah, that has to help. They're always touched up before the event, so you have to take that into consideration too. You can't assume they're the same as they were last year.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's time for old-fashioned skips deuce here. Roll under here.
Weight's really good.
Very
Anything
difficult to
hot.
get it.
Hair hot.
And perfect so far. A little bit hot out of her hand, said Brianne Hares. Now Burchard will try to knife it over. Nothing.
Okay. Good weight. Nice weight.
You need to curl it earlier.
Those hit and rolls are such a challenge, especially late in the game, because you're afraid to try to make that curl, especially in the middle. If there's any kind of breakdown, sometimes those can take off.
Let's play the same way.
Yeah. Okay, it's kind of 10-7 side?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tempting to try to roll under here.
Yes.
And put some pressure on Carrie Einarson. She hasn't thrown a ton of draws this game.
Just noses I do?
Coming up to noses close.
Can you ever get underneath it all?
I don't mind that.
I like getting underneath if we
Yeah.
can.
I'm going to throw a true
Well, after
11 then.
Nunavut got their second point
Same ice.
in 7, PEI replied with their single, and they're in front comfortably.
Yeah. Once we know we're there, then you can just get a little extra curl, sir.
Just 11.
Just 11.
First chance to put some pressure on Team Canada this game.
Same weight, close. Clean.
Stay close.
Same weight, close. Little bit,
Close.
close. 10.5.
Sarah.
There it goes. Hi, Sarah.
Hard for nose. Yep, hard for nose. Hard
Sarah
for nose.
Loken.
Go, 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 go.
And they got it to the nose, just a little off, but you know, you could hit that right on the beak and
Yes.
get shot.
Yeah.
can't you?
Just, yep. Once it wasn't going to get to the nose and maybe rolled it a little bit farther, then a nose hit for Carrie Einarson would not be shot.
Hey guys, bumper.
Yeah,
Same weight.
You got it. same weight to her. I was thinking less of anything. Yep.
Clean. Curl. Clean. Good.
And that'll do for a single for
Okay.
Yeah, 1 red.
Carrie Einarson.
What was it?
Probably started that end thinking she's going to get a lot more. Still leads it by 2. On this Saturday night here in Kamloops, our first Saturday, day 2 of our coverage, the 42nd Scotties Tournament of Hearts, Canadian Women's Curling Championship. We go to the 8th. Team Canada leads it by 2 over BC and Clancy Grandy. Both teams coming in with wins last night. And BC and the team from Vancouver with the Hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Hard, gotta go.
Really hard.
Really hard.
Really have to go.
Okay. You can just stop it. Yeah. Yeah.
So the no-tick rule coming into play because that center line guard is on the center line. It cannot be removed from play until the 6th rock of the end.
Okay. This should run a bit out here. This is where that, but it might curl the first time. Just haven't thrown this side in a while, but I agree.
Well, that was something we noticed last night in particular, again this afternoon. You have to be aware that those, and Clancy actually said to us earlier that it's something that they noticed yesterday too, is that if that path hasn't been used in a while, you better be aware of it before you throw it.
I always found this hard late in the game because you never want to miss heavy, but you know the ice is getting heavier, so how much harder do you throw it? Having to do that math and convert and buy in and trust your throw, that's a skill that takes a long time to hone in on.
Long enough guard, you can get at this over-buried red one here with the perfect speed. Either tap it a foot or just glue it on the corner.
Line only, wait's really close.
Okay.
Hot 4.
Yep. My broom. Lock it on. Line
Tapping it would be nicer to give yourself a little more space later.
These were taking their time coming up in the 6th end. This one's curling a ton.
And in behind they go as they'll drag it just to the top edge of the 8.
Yeah, here comes the guard. You wanted to be shot rock there, even if you kicked it to the back 12.
Same to a hair less, and it will slide.
Now you're going to have work to do for BC. Straight guard for Canada.
Okay, a little less.
Weight's good, halfway. Room right now.
Yeah, a little bit for line.
Line's good.
Okay,
Sweep it early.
Tight, halfway tight.
Line's okay. Right here. Line's good.
Really tight right now. Coming down.
Line's perfect.
Just a 3 now.
Line's perfect.
Good. Nice. Good, Shannon.
Like those, the top 2?
Yeah.
I think so. Yep. Yeah. Should go right where you throw it.
Feel.
Yeah. Okay.
I get the concept here because you kind of open up a little bit of the back rock that's shot or that your yellow rays, but this is dangerous.
If you don't connect on this rock on the center line, you're in huge trouble if you're Team BC.
You can take your yellow one out just as easy too.
Yes, hard. Watch.
McMillan on the rush. Oh gosh, what's going on here? And we'll still leave that center line guard out in front and spill a Team Canada stone into the top edge.
Not good.
Yeah, thicker was better than thinner.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Okay, this one should run better than Shannon's.
I agree.
Yeah,
just plug that hole. You got it down.
Yeah, the one they hit wasn't really the problem rock.
Okay.
2, 3.
About the same as yours.
Low line.
No line, no line.
Line's okay. 2.
Two.
Hey, line's good now.
throw.
Good. Great shot. Really good. Good. Great, sweet.
Those aren't easy later in the game either. You know, you want to give it to your brushers, and if it just curls that little bit too early to a slower path, you don't get it over the hog line.
I think so.
All because that come around freeze came up light. There's just so much pressure on British Columbia. They need a double peel. Then they still aren't out of the woods.
Whoa. 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 Yeah.
Kayla McMillan.
Whoa. Whoa.
Bang, bang.
Very nice.
And that will open up that center line.
Good call. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Just off their corner. Yeah.
What kind of weight here?
Okay.
Or do you like bump?
I don't hate a 10. He was coming up here earlier. Yeah. Good call.
Depends how brave you are here, isn't it? You can just peel it, obviously, but then they can get around that corner guard. If you could roll a foot or two, kind of choke it off.
Yeah, the problem though is if you overroll, there's going to be a lot of rocks to come around for Team BC.
Curl for peace.
Boy, you got to help this Burchard. You really got to help this to get something, and she does.
Okay, 9?
Yeah, 9. Okay, all good.
That was a bit of a protect again because you didn't want to jam it.
And again, late in the game, we were seeing some rocks jump
right
in earlier games, but tonight the surface seems to be holding up.
Yeah, it's great. We talk about the curlers making adjustments to rocks and ice. You know, it's the same thing with the ice makers. They can't get it perfect right off the bat. It would be an awfully lucky guess.
Mine took a while. So like 14, like high 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They seem to
14.5 is
carry
probably
okay.
close. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is good.
Top is 12.
You can go.
Now, it's supposed to be a little bit damp for the next
Line's good.
3 days.
Okay,
Rain or some flurries tomorrow and 5, 6 rain and flurries Monday, dropping to 2 with some rain or snow, and then Wednesday and on out should be drier and colder. So with no dehumidification in this building and people bringing in moisture, that will be the concern for the ice maker.
I think I like really tight.
No question.
Yeah.
This is the most
If you're in, that's okay.
frost we've seen, but it hasn't affected the ice at all, so it would have to get quite a bit worse.
Well, we're always reminded, Joe, that it may look, it may not look nice, but if the pebble is above the frost, then there's no problem.
We're 4 feet out if we want to get the line.
Yeah, it's the pebble is going to lie on top of that. So even if you are seeing those footprints and you can see the tracks where people are walking, it doesn't necessarily mean that the frost is coming into play.
Like even with that yellow, 'cause I don't want to ever leave her the double. And
The tight yellow?
Yes.
All right, you got it.
Even with the surface this good, this is one of the trickier shots, getting this guard locked right in line. And if you're going to miss, over curl this a little bit. Otherwise, there's a hit and roll behind that wall of rocks.
Okay, 3.
Cool, we got lots of line.
Gotta go for tight. It's tight. Should be there.
Line's good.
Line's okay. Okay, 3.
We got room.
Where?
Lots of line. It's got to curl.
Curl, curl, curl.
It'll curl.
Curl. Hard.
Keep going.
Yeah. Hard.
Go, go.
Whoa. Whoa.
Good. Good. Good call. Nice carry. Good. Good.
You saw the management of that rock out of Carey's hand. The sweepers yelled, "Gotta go for tight." So indicating that it was a little bit lighter than they wanted, but they didn't start sweeping it because, as you said, Russ, the line was the most important thing in that shot. And that's just smart shot management by Team Canada.
Is it ever? And, you know, I think part of it is because they're here year after year, you know, and they know what it's going to do in the 8th, 9th end in a big game. We're back to square one here now for BC. They had this shot earlier and came up way light. They need shot rock here.
Yeah. Clancy said freeze. I think they need to make sure that they're shot after this.
Absolutely.
rock comes to rest. I think they need to move it a little bit.
Yep. We're so conditioned early in an end. Sorry, Vic, to play freezes, but this isn't early in an end. You come up light here, they guard it, and then what do you do?
Einarson out curling. Clancy Grandy. The player numbers brought to you by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
Can't bounce on this line.
Line's good.
Weight's close.
Line's good.
Line's okay. Will you lock it on? 14 and a half. Still can't bounce. Still can't bounce. Can't bounce at all. Okay, we're hard.
Well, you actually geared into grab shot rock. All right, Kathy, we have our first final, and it's a win by Prince Edward Islands and Suzanne Burt. A win over Bridget McPhail and the team from Iqaluit. 10-2 is your final. So now Burt is 1-1. McPhail is 0-1, dropping her first.
And a much more aggressive style of play. That comes from Marie Christensen calling the game, and Suzanne Burt continuing to throw last rock.
The only team not playing this evening in this 9-team pool is Quebec and Laurie St. George, who dropped her opener last night. Team Canada.
I said it. Curl, curl, curl.
Clancy was so close to perfect on hers, but it just did not curl up enough.
They got to go, though. They really got to go, though.
Clean.
Wow. Just great. Super brushing by Brianne Harris.
My finger caught it at the end, and I was like, no. Okay, it was nice. Good job.
I always knew when I was playing Carrie Einarson, if she started laughing, I was in trouble.
Yes.
Because that means she's comfortable out there. She's feeling in the zone.
Peace, top.
And you are in trouble if you're playing against Carrie when she's like that.
At the end, when I went to like release, it went like dink.
It might just be there.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Can you like send this in?
I could. I do think that this is there.
Oh, for sure it's there.
Just.
Same shot that was just thrown, just dead on virtually makes it. So
Okay.
you don't have to hit it dead on. It's a little high side.
Yeah, the spot's been giving Clancy a bit of trouble this game. Her out-turn peels run so straight, and near the line, we've seen things back up a bit. She'll have to squeak the guard.
I don't know if I can.
It looks tricky.
I think we
Do
play
you have
this.
anything off this?
No. No.
You don't have to remove any of the reds.
might
Just
have
got to
to
get them
try
behind the
this.
tee
No, I
lines.
just don't
Just
know
a
that we can get
backline
it.
weight.
It's
I guess you
close.
should be able to, eh?
I think this is there really, really hard. I think this is
maybe harder.
questionable.
Yeah.
Then we have to make a decision. Well, we're only at 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I can get. Yeah. Okay.
T-line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me edge.
Wow.
The clock is running down for Team BC. They're at about 3.5 minutes with 2 ends left to play.
Just put it right on tee.
Yep.
This is
Put it on
crazy
tee.
tough.
Kayla will let you know if we're by.
Both teams have used one timeout.
Yeah. Same
Allowed a
throw,
couple.
just that hair more ice. Okay.
Speed's the same.
I mean, you're in danger here of what? Giving up 4.
Well,
no, pardon me, last rock.
Probably the 2. She'll probably beat that top one, Vic.
Weight's close. Hey,
But 2's too many.
Yeah, when you're down by 2 already.
Weight's close. Room still.
We're close.
Lindsay's rock.
Stone half of the button is what she needs.
Sweep for T. Sweep for T. Gotta curl.
Hard lanes, hard
Gotta
curl.
Hard lens. Hard lens.
Oh, dear. And she'll give up a steal of 1.
Great try.
So Team Canada extend their lead on this Saturday night here at the Scotties. Into the 9th end we go. Team Canada leads it by 3 over BC as we welcome you back to Kamloops on this Saturday night. Day 2 coverage of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the 63rd Canadian Women's Curling Championship. And it is BC and Clancy Grandy from the Vancouver Curling Club that does have the last rock, has the hammer, playing the Yellowstones. And won't get a bite.
I'm surprised, Russ. If I'm Team BC playing against a hitting team like Team Canada, I would have expected to see double guards on purpose. That call was to come around and just draw it. Down 3 playing the 9th end.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 guard's not enough.
I like it. Top 8. Not a big ad.
Line's good.
We're going to see Shannon play the choke. So she's playing a come around draw, but she doesn't want to be buried. She wants to be edge on edge or maybe a little bit under those guards. Top 8 foot to block the come around from Team BC.
Yep. Yep.
It's just slowing down a fraction, and which is very understandable, but way better than yesterday, the first 2 games.
That's the problem with that. The choke call is it's extremely precise.
Yeah.
A little bit heavy, you're helping the other
Yep.
team with something to freeze to. A little bit light, you're an extra guard.
Top 8. Got more room than Sarah's. Top
I always
4.
like it in as opposed to short in this case. Make them hit and roll. Because now it's another guard.
Line.
You've got 3 corners now.
Good. Just for line.
Line's good. Yep.
Just line T.
Okay.
Over there.
Very nice.
Good. It's good.
14.5.
Room for a couple around that guard too, which is really important. If you're just top 12 there, it makes it a bit more complicated later in the end.
Yep.
No. Yep.
Yes. High. Shooter.
3 and Harris. And watch out now.
I think we got to go now.
Yeah, look, they're going to lose one here. Yeah, you lose one there, you pick one up there.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Good shot.
She's always been so strong at those run backs, the double peels,
Yes.
the seconds and 5 rock rule that can connect and make noise on those shots. They find themselves at the top of the standings at the end of the week when it comes to those shooting percentages.
She's only played in 4 Scotties, won them all.
Sarah's roll.
Room.
To it. Almost to it. Sarah, go. Sarah, hard.
Got a curl.
To it. Bouncing a little.
Yeah, hard.
Go, 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 go.
Hard. Try to bounce it. Try to bounce it.
Okay. Okay. What do you got?
A third.
Okay. That's good. Like here. We'll crash right into there.
Okay, guard's okay. Yeah, I agree. You got it. You got it though, Val. Right at it.
Yeah, one or to the other. You either get the stone you're going after or get the guard.
If you get what you can see here, the double's makeable.
Look. Yep. Whoa. Girl.
Trying to help it, girls. Shannon Burchard coming across and underneath.
Good.
Made them both, though.
Fantastic.
Well, an update for you again, Alberta and Saskatchewan, and
Come on, Kel.
it is Skurlik who's up.
But could be giving up 4. It has been a wild ride. Robin Silvernagel's first over curled, and that allowed Kayla an opportunity to make a double. She ran it on her own, and so if she can get to the nose and poke it through the hole, it's for 4.
Sherry Just, Cara Tavino. Kelly Schaefer calling line. Look at that! Through it goes, and 4 will go on the board. Saskatchewan.
That's what Robin did at the provincials.
A
Just
little tight on time, so I was like, Kelly, put the broom down.
throwing it with a lot of confidence, because that was danger written all over it.
But Kayla Skurlik goes from being up 5-1 to now trailing by 3.
And it was 5-2 last night, too, and that loss to
Throw the
Laws.
2 corners.
Great shot.
Really good. Nice weights.
Look at the 4s again on this Saturday night.
Oh, you're talking about ours?
2 in that game. 4 in ours.
Talk about time clocks in that update from Sheet D, and Team BC is down to 2 minutes and 21 seconds with another end of play, playing high degree difficulty shots, lots of finesse, without a lot of time to talk about these shots at this point.
Top 12.
Yep,
Top 12.
yep, get a bite, get a bite.
Go, go, go,
Hard,
go.
hard, hard.
I'll count the 6.
Hard.
I'll count the 6. Go, go,
Hard,
go,
deeper
go,
than
go.
the 6, deeper than the 6. Okay, good sweep, guys.
It just didn't carry nice at all.
Didn't carry. There's the word. It's just
hated
that
it,
much
yeah.
slower. Probably the brushing isn't quite as effective now.
Yeah, and with the time clock in mind, you can't sit in the hack and puzzle it out with the sweepers like you would probably want to at this point in the game. Yeah, and so now they're using the time off the clock. They're going to debrief afterwards and try to carry that information forward. And you remember that this is a long week. They won their first game.
Update for you as Laws leads it by 1, and final stone, Christina Black.
Well, lots of discussion. Caitlin Laws made the decision to ignore a Nova Scotia stone and bury around a guard, trying to force play and have Hammer coming home. Christina's trying to tap it back for 2.
Got to move it over, though. And they're going to lose the shooter and not push it far enough. And so it's a steal of 1 for Laws to take a 6-4 lead.
Nice try.
Really good try.
Just needed to get tighter to the guard. I made it by a ton. Yeah, a little just had to get tighter to the guard. Yeah, top 4. Clean, good.
Chip Stones here at 9. Einarson first.
Line's good. It'll get here. Okay, top 4 still. Clean. Coming down. Yep.
Still line only.
Yeah, line only.
Line's great.
Line only.
Weight's really nice.
Line's great.
You could be there.
Okay, pull 4. Little deeper.
Good. Really good. 14-2. Nice.
The Team Canada's put a lot of rocks in the Yak 7. They're just really good rock positioning.
Yeah, Carrie is drawing extremely well this game. You know she's always going to be close with her hit game. It's that draw game. If you can lock that in early in the week at a Scotties, that just builds and builds towards the playoffs.
Yep. Hard.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
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 Yep.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Clancy Grandy her first. Run it back. Tap it now. Oh, look at that as it rolls over, and it's covered now by their own stone.
Good throw.
But it still is Team Canada sitting 2 without last rock.
Okay. Oh,
Plant
no, the
it there,
shooter.
roll the
Got
shooter
it.
over there. Yeah. Yeah, good sweep.
No. Yeah. If they just go right here. Yep.
They're guarding the yellow rays,
Okay,
it looks
I
like.
think we just guard. Just guard the hole, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 4 feet out.
Or the red double.
Clipping the
I don't think you
car.
can squeak through a hole there. Go, Russ.
I don't think. Maybe. You mean if this guard curls too much, then it might be a red double?
Yeah, I think they're guarding that. Leave Clancy with the draw to the lid.
Okay. Weight's nice. 3. I think it's very tight right now. Too much right now. Yeah. Top 12. We can go to that top 12 one. Top 8. Oh, top 8. We might need to corner the top 4 one. Top 8.
Curl. 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 Curl.
Yep, yep, hard on that one. Okay. Okay, that's all right. That's okay, Kara.
Try and roll our shooter.
Pretty.
We just got to roll it.
There high.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Just trying to spill our shooter enough to count for 1. Like the one that's frozen.
Yep.
9.
I don't know this. Where's this raised rock going to go?
Yeah, well, it has to be perfect here, or they're going to be down 4, but they're running out of time here.
Hard. 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 Hard.
Got to come up 2, and they do not. And it is steal of 2. Team Canada. And it is over. And Carrie Einarson and Team Canada will come out of the gate with 2 straight wins. And BC to 1-1 make the final. Team Canada wins it 9-4. are impressive. No rust at all. Getting the autograph of a three-time Canadian champion, trying to become a second to win 4 in a row. Pauline Jones back in 2001 through 2004. As we take a look at the game story, Einarson really did bust it open with that 4. A shot of the first 2 days had to be that tap by Grandy to eventually get a steal of 1 and 6, but it's the late rock placement, the brushing judgment, and Einarson just playing like a champion with steals in 8 and 9 to win 9-4. Game story brought to you by Tim Hortons, proudly serving Canada's favorite coffee. As we go right next door to watch the game between wild card number 1, that's Caitlin Laws out of the Fort Rouge Curling Club in Winnipeg, against Nova Scotia, Christina Black from the Dartmouth Curling Club. It is 6-4, wild card leading, but Nova Scotia, Kathy, has the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Well, and momentum switched dramatically. I talked a little bit when we looked at what the story was across the sheets about the up and down play and those glitches, if you will, for Team Laws. Laura, on her final stone, got a little inside out on her release and wound up running the Nova Scotia stone on a buried stone that belonged to the wildcard team. So instead of lying 4, all of a sudden now the Laws team is chasing.
Great effort out of Nova Scotia. 3 players in the 90s, 90 as a team. Just really, it was that last end where Caitlin buried one, and they just, Christina just couldn't quite get it out for the steal. Well, this is close. Double raise straight back.
Bang, bang, and they are going to kill 1. Out the back it goes. Still sitting 1 is Nova Scotia, needing 2 to tie.
Fantastic result, though. It opens everything up. The yellow one's open.
She's got like an easy double.
Hard to not leave a double.
Yeah.
Timeout has been called.
I might have a double off theirs. If I draw into here.
Yeah, kid freezing that corner is probably your best option.
Yeah, but it leaves a double. And then
you're not second. Does that matter?
Yeah, he played with Sean Adams that year.
Yeah.
Stewart.
Even if I'm right on the nose of ours.
Yeah.
It would be really hard to get it out. It would just
and
go
if she
into
tries, this could actually roll into it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like
Let's do that.
I think that's the call. Corner freeze it.
Yeah, I think there's even room if I move that a little bit.
Yeah, agreed.
The yellow one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it exactly there, which is not going to be simple. There's a chance at a 3.
It's just at the end. It goes hard at the end.
Yeah, the question, watching a few of these out turns come into the rings, just this end, it looks like they are going sideways.
Yes.
This will be a guess on draw speed, crossing the center line in the inner stuff in the 10th end. It held up really nicely in the feature game. We'll see what it looks like here.
Okay, so a 10. Yeah, because they all go sideways at the end. It's a hair more in the middle than you because I need to get over, so let's watch it.
Line's great.
Waist close.
Okay, sweep for top 8. Okay, it's running a bit.
Line's good.
Running. It's really running. Still 6.
Shelley Barker on the right.
Come by it.
Harley Everest on the left.
Back 4.
Ken Baxter managing the house.
You got bounce bit.
And snuggle up beside, not into the pocket.
Just too much ice.
Timeout being called now by Laws.
Yeah, that just did not walk over at all.
No,
it didn't even snap at the end.
Too much ice. It was a great way.
And a bit of a valley in the middle there, maybe.
Yeah, or just stayed out in the good stuff. It didn't grab the middle.
It doesn't
Everything,
even
you're
have-
right. Everything else and all the sheets has started to hook a little bit extra.
Just hit the center, closer one to center first.
End it here. Make them go away. Leading by 2.
This is that. It was straighter in the game. I think you can hold it with heel.
Looking to get off to a great start with 2 straight wins. Final stone, Caitlin Laws. Staying with it, Peterman, bang, and no, it will not go. And so Nova Scotia will have a chance to force an extra.
You can tell by the brushing call that she threw that every bit as good as she could ever throw it. It just grabbed a little bit coming in, just curled that extra inch.
Sorry.
I thought we'd be able to hold that a little more. It really
Me too.
curled. Good throw.
Must not have got it running, but I'm surprised.
Well, you let it go with a piece of it, so I figured we could be safe and sweep, but I did not think it would curl that much.
No.
I more called it on out of safety than because I thought that it was soft or anything.
I'll let you know if it starts to curl any earlier.
Looks like they're taking the same broom as the last rock.
Need a bite of the blue.
Same
Need the
line.
4-foot to force an extra.
Okay. Just need a piece of the 4-foot.
Thank you.
Line's good. How much?
A little
Okay, do
extra
you
at
need
this
a tick or
point.
anything? You gotta curl it right now. Do you need a tick? No, you're good for the tick. Straight for the tick. Straight for the tick. Take it.
No, dear. And through it will go. Trying to play the tick for the, just to slow it down. They'll have to settle for a single, and that's not enough. As Caitlin Laws in wild card number 1 will win it 6-5 to win 2 in a row and drop Nova Scotia to 1-1. All you can do is look. Nothing you can do about it. So they'll go right next door. Only game left on the ice. And Kathy, Saskatchewan has come back, as you say. Alberta led it 5-1 after 3. The 4 spot has them up by 3, 9-6. Final stone about to be played by Kayla Skurlik.
Well, timeout's called. Saskatchewan elected to hit a stone out in the 12-foot just to make sure there was no win on the table. I believe it looks like that yellow stone at the back outcounts the one at the front. And so this needs to scooch by the top stone in the 8-foot and curl enough to tap it back a couple of inches in order to score 3 and force the extra.
Yeah, and hang around in doing it.
To the back line. Ashton! Can we get more? Ashton!
Have you got this? Can you? No, you won't. And where will this settle down? There, coming back.
Wow, the trick shot, because she touched the top one enough to move it in.
Unbelievable.
I think they were actually trying it, and then halfway down they weren't.
Yeah, I think you're right now. It's red. They got their 3. I really do.
It's close.
The audible was called here.
But it's not, it isn't out counting the yellow there. That bump brings it into play. And then this one spinning back. So they have 2 in their pocket. Is there a third there to force an extra?
You never know. It's a split.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're ready, and so are we.
Just over 3.5.
Yep.
Look at that. We're going to go one more. Wow. Go Alberta, you bet. What a shot by Kayla Sperlich. Look at that. Let's play one more on a Saturday night in Kamloops.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like it. By PointsBet Canada, the official sportsbook of Curling Canada. By BKT Tires and OK Tire. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada.
We're going one more on this Saturday night here in Kamloops and the Sandman Center. Alberta and Saskatchewan are tied at 9. What a 10th that was for Alberta. Terrific three to touch the one stone over on the way by. They bump it up, and then they shoot or spin and come back for a third point. So now it is Saskatchewan and Robin Silvernagel and the team from the Twin Rivers Curling Club in North Battleford that has the hammer playing the Yellowstones. The lead, Cara Tivino.
Brilliant comeback by both teams in this game.
Yeah.
Take it back, yeah. I don't think you're back.
It's coming down. It's like dead on T line.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Alberta scored 4 points in the first three and now 4 in the last three.
Just wider.
Yeah, weight was good. I think it's the difference of
what I've been throwing then?
Yeah.
They thought that was going a little farther, so we got to keep an eye on that. Just a couple feet slower than maybe earlier in the game, but that can make a big difference.
Yeah, at this point in the game, the sheets have all cleared off. That air is going to get a bit cooler.
Yep. Little bump. Yep. Okay. That's okay. Whoa. Get hit.
Good shot.
I got a 13.5 on that rest. That is considerably slower than the start of, at least for our game.
Yeah, you can see it.
Our game was around a 14.5 to tee, and second is usually about 6 feet difference in the hog-to-hog times.
Okay. We're still 2. Yeah, that's good. We're still 2. This one. Okay. Sat or guard high, either one. Or 3's. I think probably tap. Okay. Same weight, Jer.
Might be early, eh? Do you think?
Yeah, I think you want to delay coming into the house as long as you can. This is going to give Team Saskatchewan a couple of opportunities to clear things off and open up the forefoot.
Yep. Same. Same. Whoa. Back more. Whoa. Bridge rock. Gotta hit center. Close. Back 4. Close. Close. Close, Ashton. Back close. It's still close. Ashton. Yep. No. Good.
To B-Shot Rock for the moment, Alberta. Well, the first Sunday of a Scotties, it has become a tradition, started back in 2002 in Brandon in memory of Sandra Schmerler, the 3-time Canadian and world champion, Olympic gold medalist. And so tomorrow, the province of BC has declared it to be Neonatal Intensive Care Awareness Day, Sandra Schmerler Day, all in support of neonatal care across the country. That will be the number to call tomorrow. You've been very generous in the past, and we thank you, and we hope you will be tomorrow. And one of the stories and one of those people who benefited from the Sandra Schmerler Foundation is, in fact, Robin Silvernagel and her son Colt, who is now 17 months of age, but boy, has gone through a lot to get to this point and survived everything, and a lot of it due to your donations to the Sandra Schmerler Foundation.
Half tight. Let it stop. Half. Great shot, Britt.
Real nice.
5-5. Sure. 5-5.
Heel, that's fine.
Okay,
if you end up catching that, you'll get that.
Okay.
Kelly gets right up on the tip of her sliding foot, and if she doesn't make this run back, she'll make it with her body. She gets going and going and going.
Even up. Ran it straight back, stuffed it in there, and left it guarded.
Ah, close. Do you like board? Yeah. Okay.
She was wanting the triple, wasn't she, through there?
Some positive, right?
Yeah, you're just too curled too much.
There technically would have been a triple, but
No, I know.
Oh.
But
a little unlucky.
At least the top.
yeah.
Close.
She just to stop herself from wrecking on the guards.
Board? Yep. Yep. Board down. Yeah.
Hard to get by.
Ashton.
Trying to get this on the nose of the guard here.
Okay.
Oh, man. They had their chance there, too.
It's not bad.
No, that's not bad. What, straight back. Yeah, nose. Okay.
It's an interesting situation because you'd love to go red-red, but we can see what can go wrong here, and you can't really hit the red left and right of either one of the yellows. You're committed. You have to go straight back.
Bonus for Saskatchewan, though, there's no guards in play anymore in front of the ring. So if you do happen to jam, it's an open house.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is Kelly's forte. She can throw these really hard with very little effort.
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
And got it. Very nice. Kelly Schaefer. As so many Scots can do, throw that up weight. Former Kelly Wood, of course, and all those years playing with Eve Muirhead, and before that, Rona Martin.
3 Olympic appearances. One is a 5th, I believe.
Yeah, two playing 6 and 10.
Totally. I thought it was close. I didn't mind
This, and we're not going to get shot.
They're like,
Yes.
they get higher and we're struggling to get in there.
Get in there.
I know.
Well, and it was, good shot.
Yeah. Or the no. Wow.
Boy, that changed the end completely.
Like, well, we have to roll. We have to roll to be shot, right?
Like back line.
Because of this one.
I was just thinking like
The freeze?
Oh, I was thinking more.
No, girl, you like we've got to no.
I'm thinking more weight. That's all. If you
Do you
happen to
hate
doing
this? No, that's not there. But we could play the freeze.
Freeze isn't bad.
It's this, or we
Okay.
play this
The free-
for right
yeah.
now. Make her play a run at it, and then we can play.
This
she
is a,
misses.
This is a run too.
Yep.
You're saying if you leave her an angle on 6, she's flashing everything. There's nothing left, right?
You can tap that left one too, and either roll behind the corner, second shot, mind you, but you're still going to have a chance. Or just tap it straight back, a foot or two.
Just the board's gonna overcurl.
You can't freeze to it,
Like,
there's not enough angle.
Control would be there.
Can we 5 seconds.
No, we can't draw there.
1 second.
We could draw.
Enough space here.
Well, we could freeze to this. Okay. We could freeze to this, and then if I'm. Yeah.
Freeze to this, and if
Freeze.
Yep. The speed out here, same probably
Same as
okay.
I threw
I think
in
it's
that
an okay.
one draw.
Right.
That one
Okay.
should be close.
Here you have.
I think it's faster than that.
Here more, or is that good?
Saskatchewan provincials, it's the best I've seen Robin hit ever.
think less than
She's
that,
always
right?
been a pretty good hitter,
If we tap,
sliding
it's really
straighter than I remember. And so that little short run back is pretty tasty for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, they talked about trying to make that hit and roll off of shot rock to sit shot behind the rock top 12, but they blast everything and it's wide open.
Yeah. I don't mind tapping and rolling behind the corner. Just move it back a hair. freeze it on the inside corner. The run back's tough.
Wait. To it, bumping. Okay, close line. To
it.
Yes. To it. Line's good. Whoa. Room. To it. Close room. Line's good. Brittany. Where? No, Brittany.
Little bump.
Very nice. It's just about as good as you could have done.
I can't see much of that.
Yeah, had to release that back yellow to sit shot.
Yeah, we can take both of them. That's good.
Talk to me a lot.
Yeah. And just get a hair roll to start ours. Yeah.
And then we need.
We're gonna have to freeze to something.
Freeze tap,
I think.
yeah.
Yep. You got it.
Whoa. Curl. Straight.
Robin Silvernagle, her first. Tivano's picked her up. And she was quite happy, she said, get rid of both. And so they sit 2 and, in fact, 3. Shot rock is covered.
Looked like she'd backed it up, but it caught the line and really curled. Good throw.
Yeah, the early call to try to get some curl. Helped it over just a little bit. What a great shot by Robin Silvernagle. So you're Alberta. You have to try to play a come around to back button here, Russ.
Yeah, and it really, to be honest, it was exactly the same shot she just threw, just an inch or 2 less ice. She should be close. The worry here is when's it going to go?
Final stone for Alberta. Kayla Skurlik
All there right now.
out of the Garrison Curling Club in Calgary.
Can you knife it? Line only. Really curling. You might have to go for line. Can't. Line only.
Sherilyn Ramsey is in the house. Brittany Tran is on the right. Ashton Skurlik. Now it has to find the brakes here. And it will slide too far. And it will be a win for Saskatchewan. 11-9 is your final as they pick up a couple. And now 1-1 with Alberta and Skurlik dropping their first 2 here in Kamloops.
Good game.
Interesting game to say the very least, that they would find themselves down so early, then fighting their way back, and then giving up that 3 in 10 to force an extra. So tomorrow begins the 3 draw days, and the Group B will be back on. Brian will be here to join Kathy as Megan Walter, a wild card out of Winnipeg, will play Jennifer Jones. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 for Pacific. And just a reminder, it is Sandra Schmerler Day, all in support of neonatal care across the country. The tradition, first Sunday of each Scotties since 2002. It's been a terrific night of shot making. And more to come as we wind our way through the week towards another championship. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts from Kamloops is here on Canada's sports leader, TSN. SportsCenter is next.